From Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill here in Denham Springs. Welcome to the Monday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Sandgriff, Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kitchens back in the studio on our normal Monday
George's been working a
football
lot,
season.
man. He was on football Sunday yesterday. He's working extra hours. Got to get up early on Monday and Friday.
Pre and post game, or some of that working.
Well, he's up late with you.
He wasn't this week, but he has been
Okay.
before. But he was in week 2. So hey, guy works a lot, man. Works a lot. That's what happens during football
it's
season.
as if he went to the old grassroots Holy Cross instead of the bougie on the Bayou Holy Cross.
We're glad you're with us here. Our normal Monday during football season schedule includes the Brian Kelly press conference about 11:40. We'll hand it over to them, see what BK's got to say, as it was a huge college football and pro football weekend. One of the yesterday in the NFL, I know we say this every week, was, my goodness, some of the things that historic, both good and bad. We'll get to that in a second. Ton of college football to get to as well. And, of course, LSU with an easy win over Southeastern. And when we started post-game, basically what I said was, what did I take away from this game? I took away that Garrett Nussmeier is healthy. And that is of all the things that happened this weekend, of all the things I watched, what's the most significant thing that I saw to our audience here is that Garrett Nussmeier is healthy. Early in the week, last Monday, Brian Kelly said, look, he's got a torso injury. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that he's had some discomfort. We've had to hold him a little bit. But why would you say that if it's going to tip off your opponents that you can't throw the ball down the field or your quarterback somewhere compromised? Well, later in the week, and then also, why wouldn't you sit him in a game against Southeastern where you're a massive favorite no matter whether he plays or not? Why would you not just sit him in that game? And Kelly explained himself later in the week during his media availabilities. The coach's show said, look, we think that he's had the best week of practice that he's had since August. We feel like he is on the backside of this injury. We feel like he is ready to move forward, and we think he needs to play to get into a rhythm. Okay, so going into the game, is that a risk? Well, can he hurt it worse? Can he take a step backwards? Certainly could have. How's he going to look? Because we're going to scrutinize every throw now. Well, every throw that he made the other night looked like the old Nussmeier. Looked like something that had a little zip on the fastball. His accuracy was there. He was 25 of 31, and the 6 balls that were incomplete, he had a couple of drops. Nothing was really wild or short or anything like that. They threw the ball deep, and his longest throw from scrimmage, I think, was right at 50 air yards. Did not look like he had to heave it. He even ran a little bit on Saturday night. He had his longest run of his career at 26 yards. They felt comfortable enough putting him into a quarterback sneak from under center. In fact, they did it twice. So with all of that, and even though I thought it was an unnecessary risk to put him out there for the first series of the second half when they were up 35-0, and he got popped on that drive and got up limping a little bit, and it's like, man, okay, that's enough. But even with that, their confidence in his ability to run the offense, to make the throws, to not re-injure anything was there, and he paid that off. So moving forward, you got Garrett Nussmeier ready to go. That was my biggest takeaway. After that, there's a lot of little things. I thought Michael Van Buren acquitted himself really well in the backup role. I thought he did some nice things, had some nice throws. He scored a touchdown on the ground. Exactly what you want to see him do. Came in and ran the offense. They didn't just shut it down. He played the entire second half, save for one drive. And LSU, after not scoring on their first drive, scored on the next 8 and win the game 56-10. Same issues that LSU has had before continue to be of concern. The rushing game, the offensive line. But at least for now, those take a backseat to get ready for Ole Miss. That Nussmeier's healthy, Jimmy, and that was the biggest thing I took out of the game.
Get to see a little bit of the backup, so there's a lot of I think he's got a little bit more ability than maybe some people were fearing, when the rumors going that the season is lost.
You talking about Van Buren?
Yeah. I mean, he's got He's not a stiff.
No,
No, I mean, he's. I mean, you can do worse. I mean, if Nussmeier went down for a couple of games, he would give you a chance.
we gave these numbers yet last week. Last year, he started a game for Mississippi State. He threw for 306 yards in Athens in a competitive game. They lost that game by 10. Okay, they weren't blown out. It wasn't all garbage yards. He threw for 242 and 3 touchdowns and an interception in a 10-point loss to Texas A&M. That was not a complete blowout. He threw for 280 against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. Now he did throw 2 interceptions in that game, but he threw for 280 in that game, and he threw for 309 yards against Arkansas. Now they lost that game big, but they put 25 points on the board. He threw for 309. It's not like he was just going in there and handing the ball off and going 11 for 24 every week.
Yeah.
There were some good games in there.
Yeah, Nussmeier's health. I mean, besides that, I mean, I'm not ever going to put too much in Rena wins.
Right.
I mean, I think LSU's blowing an opportunity, like I said on Football Sunday. I mean, get your alumni by choice. Go out and find a guy and say, hey, man, this oil guy from California or Texas, look, man, you want to be an LSU fan? You could be the interim coach for our Rena wins. So $5 million. There you go. Go straight to our player budget. I mean, Michigan's doing it.
They did.
I mean, Michigan. I mean, Michigan had to pay. Did they pay Underwood? How much?
12 million.
Okay, well, you could come be an assistant on our staff, but bring your cheese too. Biff.
Right.
Biff blew it right before half. Got called timeout with about 9-10 seconds to go. You let it run down to 1. Oh, then they get a Hail Mary. You force them to punt. No, they would get it. But anyway,
I'm gonna like Biff because he gave Nick Saban the business on game day. So
no.
that was funny.
I can sit right here, Big Mike's, and have a couple beers with Biff any day.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's
Funny guy.
He's got the delivery. You could see why he's successful, man. In an unassuming way, just sharp as a tack. And yeah, he was giving Saban. That was classic.
Yeah,
Biff, you remember when you coached at St. Francis High School and you used to pay all the players? This and that. Yeah, I learned from you.
Right. No, it's priceless.
And Saban didn't get defensive. He just laughed.
Right.
So, Nussmeier. Is the ball coming out his hand?
Yes.
Moving okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, against anybody, we can see that. So, and it's time, man. Come on, man. You waited too long. I mean, is it an injury or not? Because as transparent, as forthcoming, as honest as Brian Kelly has been, to a fault, that's just conflicting information he put out last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't say, well, he's not going to get better till a bye week, but he's got to play. Well, damn it. I mean, you can't have both, bro.
Yeah.
You can't have both. And, I mean, rest him but we're the torso, and here's the injury, and boom, and everybody's running with it. He's playing hurt. This is why. You would not have known any type of injury. He was up from any injury. How much can we attribute to his choppiness before this game due to injury? Who knows? The decision-making got nothing to do with the injury. Maybe it can settle, kind of some frustration can seep in because you can't do exactly what you want to do, what you normally can do. Maybe, but Kelly jumped us behind real good, after that decision against Florida. No, you got to be better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, you
That wasn't the injury.
You have to be better than that. And Nussmeier knows that, so I don't know about all that, but maybe, and that's it. I ain't taking anything away from beating up on a tomato can like that. And that's it. But no matter if he's just at practice, with some practice, didn't even throw. So he had to be hurt. I mean, there's no reason a quarterback doesn't throw at practice. You need reps. You want all the reps you can get throwing the ball. It's like, a basketball player. No, he's not going to shoot in practice. Well, you mean, what the hell's wrong? So besides that, that's all. So I mean, you got a big one in Oxford, and I can't see that. I mean, who thinks they're not going to start Chambliss in this game? When you talk about, you never can lose your job to injury. Well, another guy can win the job. I mean, if he outperforms you.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun because LSU's strength of their team is their defense. Ole Miss's strength. This is forget last year. This is Ole Miss and Kiffin, how they've been for most of the time. They are explosive on offense, and they are leaky on defense. They had a good game on Saturday defensively. I thought that was mostly Retzlaff struggling. 0 yards passing in the first half.
Yikes.
Yeah.
One more thing on the Nussmeier injury, and we'll put it behind us. I thought Jordan Rogers on the broadcast had a plausible explanation for this, and he gets it from Brian Kelly in the production meeting, which is he had some issues before the Clemson game, but he re-aggravated this thing in the Clemson game. It was worse afterwards than it was before. Well, that checks out. And now that the injury seems to be mostly behind him, that checks out with what Brian Kelly said last Monday. Again, he didn't have to
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
disclose this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa. He said he said it looks like he's behind him, and it does. How's it check out what he said Monday? He said he couldn't get better till the off week.
And that was obviously either a misspeak or it was contradictory. Okay, more what he said on Thursday, which is we think that the injury is behind us. He's had a good week of practice. He's doing some other things.
Okay, okay.
But the Monday thing, he didn't have to say anything. You know, the question was
He's covering up for his player.
the question was fairly benign. It was about Nussmeier's mechanics. He could have said, "We're working on it." You know, Garrett comes to practice and works hard every day. He's mechanically sound. You know, we'll get through. He could have sidestepped it, and he chose not to. He got out.
Went out of his way.
Yes,
he was forthcoming. He was not asked about an injury.
He was
gave
not.
up the information on the injury.
Yes,
and then Thursday, the injury is completely healed. Okay.
He
All right.
does.
Okay.
Yeah. So he doesn't do that on Thursday unless he's got to be really sure. Otherwise, he looks stupid. Because if he says Nussmeier's completely healthy on Thursday, on Saturday he goes out and he can't throw the ball 25 yards, then okay, it's like, hey, hang on a second, you're not being truthful here, and he was. So I think we can put that behind us. I watched all of Ole Miss and Tulane. I thought this would be a close game. It was not. Ole Miss completely dominated the game. I'm with you on Trinidad Chambliss. He threw for 307. He ran for 112, and he looked in complete command of that offense against what is not a bad Tulane defensive team. I think we're in agreement on he has a lot more touch than Simmons does. Let's call them as runners, maybe a wash, maybe even Simmons is a little bit better, but Chambliss is plenty good enough as a runner. I think he's a little bit better, but it's close. Okay, I think he's a much better passer.
Better than Simmons as a runner.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's close.
Well, when Simmons got a bum ankle.
Yeah, he may not have the velocity on his throws that Simmons does. Simmons may have a better arm, but Chambliss is the better passer. We saw some passes that he threw on Saturday, some of the touch passes that were just absolutely beautifully placed. And to this point, we haven't seen Austin Simmons really do that. Everything is on a line. He reminds me a great deal of former LSU quarterback Brandon Harris. Harris had a very big arm, but he did not have a lot of touch. Everything came out hot. And that's how Simmons plays, and it's cost him. He threw 4 interceptions in the first 5 quarters of this season, and Chambliss hasn't thrown an interception yet. I'm with you. I can't imagine that they would not start him. But the narrative is, and you talked about it yesterday on game day, it's like, well, if Ole Miss can just get their starter back, no, this guy's better. This guy, if they want to put Austin Simmons in place of Trinidad Chambliss this week, not only will I endorse that, I'll absolutely go right ahead. I wouldn't expect that though.
I was betting Tulane if Simmons was starting. I wasn't if Chambliss was starting.
And
I mean, I've seen them, both kind of come on. It's not so much the interceptions, and that's part of it. I mean, you can't take that away, but it's just the touch he throws with the ball, hitting guys in stride, the accuracy hitting guys in stride, yards after the catch, kind of hitting. Kiffin likes to catch guys. The underneath stuff is cutting up the field, and it just. You just watch. It's just so much choppier with Simmons in the game. It flows more. It's not as extreme because those two guys, Nico and Milton, those guys are terrible throwers. Okay, great big arms, all right, but they just can't throw. And Nico Aguilar comes in there, and man, it's like the offense just can breathe again. It's that same type of effect. So choppy. We think of Kiffin, great play designer, sequencing, got away with the tempo because he just he realized in this league, I can't be playing with my second string defensive front, the second half of the season. So, all of them guys, whether it's Malzahn, Heupel, Kiffin, they kind of alter that. Let's get 100 snaps a game type of BS. But he's just better, man. The offense is just check out yards per play with those two guys. That's one. And Charlie, because I knew he was going to have a big game against Tulane, I differ from you a little bit. I don't think Tulane's defense is very good. I mean, for American Conference standards,
Yeah.
okay, but no, this was a mismatch, and he wasn't perfect by he missed some throws, he missed some. They had some drops, and then he missed some too. So, because if they were hitting on all cylinders, they would have really, and then they wore him down with 22 fourth quarter points. But it was it was just Tulane put a lot of emphasis on that Darian Mensah homecoming.
Yeah.
And they were not ready to play on Saturday.
And I thought this would be a sandwich spot for Ole Miss. After that very exhausting Arkansas game with LSU on the horizon, I thought that this would be a sleeper spot. I was wrong on that. One other thing about Chambliss, he played a lot of football before he got to Ole Miss. Now, he didn't play at the D1 level, but he played 3 years at Ferris State. Okay, who cares about Ferris State? Well, it's still football, and they played at a championship level. They won the National Division II championship, and he started 16 games, played in 25 in his 3 years there. He's played a decent amount of football. Now, can you make the jump every time? No, but this kid looks like he's in command. He didn't look rattled at any point. Even when he came in the Kentucky game, which was late, that game was hanging in the balance. I didn't think he looked rattled there. He looks like somebody who's very sure of himself, running the offense.
It's the right recipe. I mean, I bet Ferris State could have competed with New Mexico State. That New Mexico State was bad, bro.
Yeah.
That was okay. How's that guy doing coming out of there?
Ferris State is not FCS. They're Division II.
I heard you.
Okay.
I'm well aware.
Okay.
Do you know how bad New Mexico State was?
They're bad.
They were like 0-23 before Jerry Kill got there.
Right. No, they were bad.
I saw that guy, and I had my doubts. Well, I mean, that's New Mexico State's BS league. Okay, he's going. No, I mean, Incarnate Word scores a lot of points, but I mean, they're no juggernaut. That guy's the number one pick.
Yeah.
Went to Washington State. So, no, that's the right recipe. You think you're going to develop more as a quarterback playing at a lower level or sitting? He's playing at a lower level.
There's no question.
It's kind of that minor league thing. They do that for a reason.
They do.
Yeah.
Even the
that's
best,
a lower level, right?
Even the best prospects.
Is that a lower level?
Didn't they send Skeens down? His first start was at single A.
Yeah.
He was there for 5 minutes, but he was single A.
Oh, man.
We're here at Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. We've been coming here a long time, and Big Mike, we tell you all the time, is so involved in the local community here. And this past week, they inducted him, Michael O'Neill, into the Denham Springs Hall of Fame. Yeah, I can't tell you how many fundraisers he has done over the years to help out the local schools and the local kids. You need something sponsored, Mike's there. You want to have an event for the kids, Mike's there. You need food, Mike's there. And just over and over again, reinvesting in this community I know he believes in very deeply. They put him in the Hall of Fame this past week, which was great. Of course, it's right here. So Denham Springs, it reminds me a little bit of the community I grew up in. They rally around the local high school, the local stuff. And I can tell you that having people like that it's necessary, it's invaluable. And they donate their time, they donate their money because they believe in it and they believe in reinvesting in the community. And Mike has done that to the nth degree. And so congratulations. They put him in the Hall of Fame and recognized him last week, and we're happy about that. He's always been real good to us, and it's a staple here in Denham Springs. If you watched the Bar Rescue episode, okay, and you don't have to watch Bar Rescue to know that this guy comes in and he rescues failing bars. And every episode, I've watched a number of them. Every episode that he's ever done, he comes in and he yells at the staff for not doing their jobs. He yells at the owner for drinking too much. He yells at the people for not cleaning everything. This is the only episode he ever did where everybody was doing everything right, but they ran into a historic flood. And so he came in here and helped them get back on their feet. And you saw what a big part of the community here Big Mike's is. And it was a really touching episode. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. But it's a real part of what Big Mike's is here in the Denham Springs community.
I did play-by-play for Denham Springs back in the 90s, me and a Rooster. And, Mike was a supporter of what we did. And so, no, he's been doing it for a long, long time. And so, so used to, stop by the place at the old location on the way home from the games and just, talk about the game and stuff like that. So, no, man, he's big supporter, well deserved.
And they're open late after high school football games on Friday nights. So you come in, it's family friendly on Friday nights. After the game, you can bring the kids in, get something to eat on your way home. Great happy hour here Monday through Friday from 3 until 7 with $2.50 beer, domestic and bottles and draft, $4 wells and $5 wine. That's all Monday through Friday and all day on Sunday starting at 11 o'clock. And you need an extra cocktail if you're going to watch the Saints on Sunday because it's not pretty. Live at lunch from Big Mike's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
New Beyond Raw Lit V2 pre-workout. GNC's #1 pre-workout. Now with harder hitting energy, an intense mind-body connection, and enhanced endurance support. This isn't just pre-workout, it's precision engineering for your body. Turbocharge your workout with new Beyond Raw Lit V2. Available now at GNC and GNC.com.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Let Southern Outfitters be your one-stop shop for all your hunting season needs. From archery, stands, saddle hunting, waterfowl, apparel, firearms, and ammo, they have everything you need for a successful hunting season. Out in Zachary, right off of Main Street, Southern Outfitters.
At Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, we encourage you to get multiple estimates for your home improvement project. We just want to be one of them, and then you'll see why we are the best choice. GEAUX, Tommys.com.
Picture yourself with that confident smile you once had, talking and laughing again, truly being yourself. Hi, this is Dr. Michael Cassadaban with the Fusion Implant Center.
And I'm Dr. Leo Reagan. Say goodbye to dentures and missing teeth, and hello to your favorite Louisiana dishes with friends and family.
There is absolutely no reason to go one more day feeling embarrassed or insecure about your smile. It's just too easy. So come on in for your consultation and get started with your custom Fusion smile design.
Every doctor here at Fusion Implant Center is board certified. We have the same staff, same doctors, same skilled care through your entire experience, unlike the corporate-owned centers.
It's the advanced training and skill level of our surgeons that ensures your procedure is done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively the first time.
Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com because one moment can change a day, and one day at Fusion Implant Center can change your life.
Oh, really?
In Baton Rouge, excellence isn't just expected, it's tradition. From Saturdays in Death Valley to every drive you take, at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, you'll find world-class luxury, performance, and innovation. Vehicles built to move you forward on and off the field. Discover our full lineup of SUVs, sedans, and Sprinter vans, all backed by unmatched service and a name you can trust. Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, where champions drive. Visit us on Airline Highway or online at mbobr.com.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week, nights and weekends. Walk-ins welcome. Learn more. brortho.com.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance a home? At GMFS Mortgage, we make it easy because we're local. Our underwriting and processing happens right here in the Baton Rouge office. That means faster approvals, smoother closing, and real people who understand your needs. For over 26 years, we've helped our neighbors in Louisiana achieve the dream of home ownership. Visit GMFSmortgage.com to get started today. We are GMFS Mortgage, your local lender.
GMFS. NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70806.
Facing ED or low T can be frustrating.
but it doesn't have to hold you back. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers effective treatments starting at $125 a month with no contract. Visit yourgoodwood.com and take control of your health.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. That is brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our local Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to supremerice.com. Tomorrow night, the SEC will announce everybody's annual opponents, but the news has broken. Chris Lowe from On3 and others now picking up on that report, including the Advocate, that LSU's 3 permanent opponents will be Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. So had that a few weeks ago. I thought at the time, I said, if my information is correct, this is a gift. This is an absolute gift for LSU to get these 3 opponents.
Well, who's everybody else's?
Who you want to know?
All right, Alabama's got Tennessee, Auburn, and they're going to throw them.
Somebody close.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. That's right.
There you go. We can't play. We want to play Auburn. We want to play Tennessee, but we don't want to play Alabama too. So give us,
You have to get another. Yeah, Auburn gets Alabama and Georgia. We'll have to protect that.
Alabama, Georgia,
and
Kentucky.
You close. Vandy. Yeah. Florida draws Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky.
I'm trying to guess.
I'm sorry. Who else you want to guess?
Well, let me just go through them and I'll tell you.
Texas,
Oklahoma, Texas A&M.
Yes.
Kentucky.
No.
Arkansas. Okay. So all Southwest Conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tennessee,
Alabama.
Yes.
Well, are they keeping Georgia?
They are not.
Florida.
They are not. Huh. Tennessee got a love letter. Vandy.
So Vandy, Alabama, and Kentucky?
And Kentucky. That's a love letter. I mean, look, I'm not complaining at all what LSU got. That's a love letter.
I mean, you drop Georgia and Florida, who you played for
ever. That's a love letter. That is a love letter. Ole Miss.
Diego Vanderbilt's not going to play forever there.
No, he's not.
Ole Miss.
He's eligible forever. He's just not going to play forever.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Egg Bowl, and you know they're going to play
LSU. And
this one's a little bit out there. It's kind of random.
Not Kentucky. Who? I don't know.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
State, Lsu, and Oklahoma. That's
the Deuce McAllister Independence Bowl.
That's rugged.
Nobody can live without reliving that.
So Oklahoma gets Texas and Ole Miss, and then the third one.
Oklahoma gets Texas
and Ole Miss.
Wait. Oklahoma, Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri.
Very good. Very good. Who else we're leaving out? Georgia.
Auburn. No, Florida.
Got to have Florida.
Tennessee. Oh, no,
not Tennessee.
Oh, no, Georgia, Florida, and Auburn.
And
then they got to give them a weekie. Missouri? No, that's already
closer.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Arkansas drew LSU and Texas. Yikes. And then Arkansas gets LSU and Texas.
Arkansas gets LSU, Texas, and A&M. Huh?
Not A&M. That one, the Jerry World game is, although they were moving that back to campus anyway.
They got rid of Missouri?
No, Missouri stays.
Okay.
Missouri stays. LSU, Texas, and Missouri. Who else?
That's why I thought Arkansas was going to be not LSU. I thought it was going to be Missouri, A&M, and Texas.
Yeah. And then Texas A&M, who pulls Texas and LSU that we already revealed that. The third one is?
I don't know.
Also Missouri.
Okay.
I guess they couldn't. I guess they couldn't fit Texas A&M and Arkansas in here and keep it fair. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with that. But that's what I predicted, and that is a gift. You will now hear me stop complaining about scheduling for the most part. This is fair.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
That's not
not
fair. That's not even close to fair.
It's not fair.
No, that's not fair. That's making up for lost time.
Yes,
you know.
this is
you feel like payback.
Yes.
You thought you would have owed it. Okay,
yes.
that's fair.
This is settling up
Be
the
fair with yourself
competitive
before you can become
imbalance.
a good handicapper.
I told you,
okay?
this is a gift. This is a gift.
Yes, Philadelphia was not a good handicap yesterday. That was luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds of Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services which you get when you call 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith, our long-standing staff. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds in Legacy Title.
Live at Big Mike's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is head coach Brian Kelly. When running a football program or any organization, core values are so important to the success of the operation. Integrity, honesty, and family is what they're all about at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, and I've experienced that firsthand. I've gotten to know them through their support of our football program. So it's simple. All of you truck buyers across the state, and I know there are a lot of you, when it's time for that brand new vehicle, go to Hollingsworth Richards Ford and tell them Coach Kelly sent you.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers. Hey, it's Matt Moscona with exciting news. Our friends at Duplessis Builders have been named by Pool and Spa News as one of the top 50 pool builders in America for 2025. Even more so, they came in on the list at number 26. That's not in Baton Rouge. That's not in Louisiana. That's number 26 in America. So if you want a quality pool with great customer service, you want the best. DuplessisBuilders.net.
We've got a variety of amazing events this September at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. The 48th Annual Author Illustrator Program welcomes prolific children's authors Andrea Davis Pinkney and David Pinkney. Celebrate with incredible music from local musicians at the Red Stick Rhythms Concert Series. And Saturday Science for Teens returns too. Bring the whole family to the Bilingual Family Hour with stories, songs, and games that celebrate language and culture. For details on these exciting programs and more, visit ebrpl.com.
Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood? Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Well, I guess along with those sizzling steaks, we do have wood-fired oysters and scallops, beautiful sea bass, fresh Gulf fish and shrimp, and rich Ora King salmon. So yeah, Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Jefferson Highway across from Palermo Ristorante. Tell Leo that Kevin sent you. And don't forget, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Come and see us.
It's time for Business Report's Louisiana Business Symposium. Join us October 1st at the Crown Plaza. The morning kicks off with the Capital Region's Best Places to Work Awards. Then at lunch, celebrate the top 100 privately held companies and hear Dr. Lawrence Scott unveil his Louisiana economic forecast. Get your tickets now at businessreport.com. Sponsored by B1 Bank, Ochsner Health, Mercedes-Benz, Synergy One Lending, LWCC, and WAFB.
Hey, it's Gordy Rush, and we're excited to introduce Guaranteed Digital Media, your trusted partner in navigating the ever-evolving digital landscape. We offer a full suite of digital media services designed to help your business grow online. The digital world can be complex. Let the team you already know and trust guide you through it. Get a free website audit today. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com. GuaranteeMedia.com.
Hey, Eddie Kennison here. As a former Tiger and pro athlete, strength, energy, and performance are still important to me. That's why when I felt my strength slipping, I turned to Rejuvamine Medical. Check your testosterone today at RejuvaMineMedical.com. That's REJUVIME Medical.com.
Looking for a reliable and hassle-free trash removal? Trash Rangers is your answer. Go to TrashRangers.com for residential pickup, commercial pickup, and roll-off dumpsters today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You know, I had an interesting weekend. Head out of town for an emergency, so didn't get a chance to watch a lot of the college football, but was back hunkered down in front of my couch for Sunday NFL, which was, for the witching hour, just manic. One of the best witching hours we've had in a long time. So a lot of results changed in 15 minutes and really impacted whether or not the book or the public won.
So Charlie and I are watching the game at the sports book after we finished football Sunday yesterday, and the new policy where these kickers can kind of handpick their ball instead of taking them fresh out the case or whatever, and when can massage them and work them in. It's like taking that glove when you play Little League, kind of breaking it in, and it just they love it. And I mean 60-yard field goals are like extra points. It seems like. Bam, bam, here's another one, here's another one, here's another. It's crazy. And then all of a sudden, it's the block field goal in the witching hour. What Troy is referencing is that 2:30 to 3:15, 45 minutes where it is a lot of money is changing hands. Let's say. I mean, of course, the biggest one is the Rams, the right side. They should have won the game, much less, losing the spread. And then, of course, the big boy from Florida. Not only does he block it, he could not have. I mean, I don't care if the best skill position play. I mean, Puka Nacua couldn't have scooped it up any more cleaner. A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith couldn't have scooped it up any cleaner. And then he's trucking like he's a tight end. I mean, like
those
he's
big
Gronk.
guys get their eyes on the end zone. It's like, I'm going to get to the score.
Yeah. Hey, don't bother telling him to take a knee.
Right.
Yeah, no. And it was just, I was like, oh my God. And as he's scooping, I'm like, they're going to cover. I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay, that line is 6.5, 7. They're up 6. They line up for a field goal. About a minute to go, roughly, Charlie.
Yeah.
And they're going to
a little under two.
Yeah, so they're going to be covering the spread, and you would have to, Tyrod Taylor would have to backdoor it if he could. But that's blocked. Scoop. Score. I mean, the last one I remember, Troy, was a Monday night game. It was 25 years ago. Pittsburgh was about a 5.5, 6-point favorite. They're winning by 1 or 2. Jacksonville, not one of their better teams, lining up for a game-winning field goal. Last play of the game. Block, scoop, and score for the cover. So that's the last one I can remember. Were you on the right side of that one, Troy?
No, that was a no play for me. So I was lucky to just kind of think about what the book and the public's feeling. I will say is the guy who blocked the field goal. I mean, who was it? Carter. There was a time where he was the consensus number 1 overall pick, and the only reason he didn't go number 1 is because of off the field issues. So that speed's probably a reason he was reckoned to go number 1.
Him and Jalen Carter are some. Those guys have played together, believe it or not. I mean, they were something over at Georgia. There is no doubt about that. So it was interesting. What was the biggest win for the book, and what was the big? Probably had to be Cleveland upsetting Green Bay, knocking out all kinds of money line parlays and teasers, huh?
Yeah, by a good margin. That was the biggest win for the book. Here's another surprising one was, actually the biggest loss for the book, which is the surprising one, was the Bears-Cowboys game. And as we've talked many a times, Bet Rivers is very big in the state of Illinois, so Bears games, we just get, they are backed heavily, regardless of who they're playing. But we also talk about how Dallas Cowboys are America's team, and that relates to the betting lines, and it was basically a pick'em, and there was heavy action on the Cowboys. So the public actually lost on that in a game I was expecting to load it and see that the Bears were backed heavily, and they weren't. But it was that Packers game. We were on overs. The public was on overs. They were on Packers to win, Packers to cover. Alt lines. That was a bad loss for the public.
Yeah, we were doing the show yesterday. I looked at it, and some other outlets had Dallas was the most popular play. And, I mean, the most public team was the most public bet yesterday.
I'd have a real problem with the way they managed that game. And, of course, defensively they were terrible. They were averaging over 6 yards a carry. You know how hard that is to do in the NFL? And it's not because some So busted an 80-yarder, and yet they threw the ball 45 times and ran it 20. And I mean, the old guard, Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, are running through Chicago, and yet they kept putting the ball in the air. And Dak threw a couple interceptions. Dallas could have done way better yesterday, in my opinion.
They're not good. They're not. I mean, that defense is going to put them. They were lucky to win the Giants game, period, and they should be 0-3. And now they could have beaten Philadelphia. So maybe those even each other out.
And the Bears are no
but
great shakes.
You can't be that bad on defense. And
they've got issues all over the defense.
This is not my short sample with 3 games, okay? Look at the Giants play last night. That was painful. They weren't even trying to hurry up, to try and get a touchdown and get an opportunity to get it. They had almost conceded. They were letting the clock run because that's the offense that went up and down the field against Dallas the week before.
Yeah, all the more reason to run the football more. You're averaging 6 yards a carry. All the more reason to run the ball more.
Try and help your
take them off the field as much
defense.
as you can.
Complimentary football, there's no doubt. So, what about in college, Troy? I know you're out the loop, but who were the biggest wins for the book, and who were the biggest wins for the public?
Yeah, well, for the public, I think it's pretty clear. Miami -7, Miami to win against Florida. I talked on the podcast I do for Bet Rivers Network, the College Sports Rush to 10, about how I was very upset that UCLA fired their coach after 4 games, because UCLA was in auto fade in multiple categories. When you fire a coach, you bring in a new coach, there could be a coaching change kind of energy, and you don't know whether or not you can back them. And UCLA had been, my favorite team to fade. And Florida is in that realm. So I'm begging Florida to keep Billy Napier because, as of 2 weeks ago, I am fading Florida in every fashion. And the public did the same. 7.5 was the most wagered on play of the weekend. 7.5 to Miami was the most popular play. I think it was like the 4th or 5th strongest play on the spread, 79% of the tickets, and there were only 3 games above 80%. So it was Miami covering over Florida. And then, on the losses, Oregon State to cover, that was just a big number. And we did take some money on Auburn, plus 6.5 against Oklahoma, but Oklahoma, in what I think is generally like a down year in college football, they look pretty good. And, that win over Michigan really, I think, turned a couple odds because Michigan's explosive. They're just young, and, they're going through coaching changes and things like that. So, the Auburn, I think they played well in 1 week, and so people were backing them to cover at Oklahoma, which is a tough place to go at 2.4% of total money. But Oklahoma was backed by 4% with only Miami -7.5 more wagered on.
Oh, I think Auburn was the right side on Saturday. I mean, a rule that they had extensive meetings with the coaches and the officials, got by both of them. I don't know if Venables is going to be reprimanded by any point, Charlie, but it was a clear, the hideaway play, and they said they that's one thing. The league issued an apology and a scathing of their officiating crew, said that the discipline would be handled in turn, but that was clearly a violation of what they talked about. This is not a non-conference game.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question he's going to be reprimanded. I just don't think it'll be public. They'll probably do the same thing with him that they're doing with the officials.
And then the scoop and score for Auburn. Man, that was close. To overturn it, what was called on the field, and then the ultimate, the safety, to put it over the number.
With a minute to go.
Yeah, there's just in. Jackson Arnold held the ball. So, I mean, he held it a lot in that game. So, Troy, clarify what you mean by when you say it's a down year in college football?
So who's the elite team?
That's the great thing.
Usually we have 2 or 3
Yeah,
two or three teams that considered in that class. I think we have a lot of teams that are in that second tier. Miami's certainly in there. I think Georgia's in there, even though they shouldn't have won that game at Tennessee. Certainly Oklahoma's in there. You have Ohio State and Penn State, but I'm not wowed by Penn State's offense. They haven't played very many good competition. Ohio State is still growing their quarterback. So who's the elite team? And if you want to say it's a power year, I think you have to have at least one definite elite team, and there isn't one.
No, I think that's the beauty of the college football season this year, that you have the Indianas and some of the other
maybe
teams.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech,
Very good.
Texas Tech, and listen, they don't need to be sensitive about their roster building. Just embrace it, dude. Don't be sensitive about it. Everybody knows what you're doing. Just you're playing by everybody's
You're not
rules.
cheating.
Now, how do you know what Penn State is? I mean, they played a a double-A high school schedule. I mean, that's a joke. And after that Murderers Row non-conference, they needed a breather before they played Oregon. So we don't know, Troy. Most teams have played only one, Division I opponent to this point. So how do we know? So I think it's a little premature, maybe. Just let it play out a little bit, Troy. Patience, Grasshopper. Come on, man.
I will say this, is that this is a good year to have a large playoff format. Because if it was just 4 teams, there would be 15 teams crying, screaming at the end of the year. Usually it's just 1 or maybe 2 teams. But this year, because of the losses that will happen, and I think you're going to have a lot of teams in around the same record at the end of the year, this is good because, a lot of teams are worthy of spots 5 through 12, whereas if you just had 4 teams, there'd be no way to pick the top 4 teams, I don't think.
Troy, you're a college basketball guy. This is like in December where maybe a team and maybe a couple of teams in the Big Ten have played one conference game right now. It's very early.
Yeah.
It's very early.
Yeah. Because you have more games to lose in college basketball.
I understand that, but you don't know. I mean, December, we can't make final judgment on who's the better teams in college basketball. We don't know.
No. I mean, the year that UConn ran rushouts through the NCAA tournament, they dropped 5 in a row in January. You catch them at 35 to 1 to win the national championship, and they wrecked house that tournament. So you're right in that regard.
Yeah, and like we said with LSU, I mean, they're okay. That's great in August. You beat Clemson. You look good. You got a chance to be good, but come November, a lot of teams are going to be good. And because just like in college basketball and football, the rosters, the turnover in rosters, you have these teams. It is a team game, team sports, and they have to how they come together. I mean, and how teams, the offenses improve. It's a developmental game, and certainly you would hope that we want to pass final judgment on some of these quarterbacks right now. Well, I mean, Jackson Arnold can get better with his decisions. It's speed up, getting rid of the ball and some of the other things. And so, so we have to see. But right now, I think got a chance. Indiana, I mean, where's Wes Reynolds today? I mean, Indiana, not only did they beat them, but they Bieleman'd them to death.
Yeah.
They bullied him. I mean, a Brett Bielema team to get outrushed by over 300 yards? I mean, come on, man. I didn't know what I was watching in that game. So, anyway, final thoughts, Troy, before we let you go, recapping the weekend.
Yeah, I'll just keep it on Indiana. I mean, their head coach at the beginning of the year, he was talking about the SEC and building an SEC schedule and playing with SEC speed, and they ran the ball like an SEC team from 15 years ago. I mean, I thought that was going to be a very close, very tight, very electrifying game, and it was electrifying in some regard, but it was not close at all. That was the game of the weekend in my book, and I thought it would be a high-scoring, close game. In Indiana, I mean, we're talking about teams that didn't play nobody in the non-conference. They look very, very good, and it's looking, again, it's very early, but it's looking like last year was no fluke.
I was dead wrong. I took the points. It went to 7. I thought I was stealing with that, man, and it was just, whew. I'm still trying to process it. But you know what? Maybe Indiana, they got pushed around in the trenches against Ohio State and Notre Dame last year. I don't know if I don't know if they're going to get pushed around as much as they were last year in those 2 games. Follow Troy on Twitter, X at Troy Macker. That's Machir. All right, Troy, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, don't forget our friends, Federalis Fest. That's right, Federalis Fest is a week from Saturday. And, man, it's going to be great. Our buddy Jay Hover, who has done a Bova Park, he's done that. He's doing Live at 5. I mean, he really does a good job of identifying with some local artists, original bands, Paul Cawthon, George Porter Jr. and the Running Partners, Sam Morrow, Scenic Highway, Dominic Michael, Captain Legendary Band, Zach Edwards and the Medicine, all good stuff. Saturday, October 4th, at Federalis Fest. It's back for the year 3. Saturday, October 4th, presented by Williams Nye Center in Lamar, located at the beautiful Live Oak and Cedar Lodge in the heart of Mid-City in Baton Rouge, and Jefferson, right down the street from Tex Morris's office in Town Center. So family-friendly event, benefits the youth-focused nonprofit. Be positive. So get your tickets now for Federalis Fest. That is a week from Saturday. It's a bye week for LSU football over at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge.
Live at Big Mike's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
At Landmark Bank, we're more than just your local bank. We're your neighbors. We cheer on the hometown team, shop at the corner store, and know you by name when you walk through our doors. Hi, I'm Ashley McDaniel with Landmark Bank. Whether it's saving for college, buying your first home, or growing your small business, we're right here with you. Because when you bank local, you grow local. And we're proud to grow with you right here where you live. Landmark Bank, banking with people you know. Member FDIC.
Boudreaux's Electrical is giving back. A family in need right here in our community will get a Generac whole home standby generator installed for free this December. Do you know a deserving family who could use reliable backup power? Nominate them by submitting their story and information on boudreauxelectrical.com.
We'll pick the winner on Thanksgiving Day and install the generator just in time for the holidays. Boudreaux's Electrical, proudly serving our community in Louisiana for over 40 years.
boudreauxelectrical.com.
This season, luxury takes the field. Genesis delivers a driving experience that's always in formation. Elegant, powerful, and ready to score. With bold design that breaks the huddle and interiors that feel like a private suite, every ride is a winning drive. Advanced tech calls the plays while performance responds like a pro in the pocket. No blitz, no noise, just smooth execution. Genesis, where refinement meets game day confidence. Visit Genesis of Baton Rouge on Airline at Pico or online at genesisofbatonrouge.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Fall is the perfect time to fine-tune your game at Golf Tech Baton Rouge. Whether you're chasing lower scores or just getting started, our certified coaches and cutting-edge technology will help you play your best. From personalized lessons to precision golf fittings, we've got everything you need to elevate your swing. So don't wait for spring. Stop by Golf Tech Baton Rouge this fall and take your game to the next level. Golf Tech, located in Town Center across the street from City Park.
He's got a man open!
Football's back.
Do you have your streaming subscriptions to watch the games? It'll cost you.
What?
Prime, Netflix, YouTube TV. It adds up.
Good thing local radio and TV stations bring us hometown games free.
But that could change. Tell Washington. Modernize the rules so your local stations keep bringing you the sports you love for free. Text radio to 39179.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text stop to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Football season is here, so make every game day legendary at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Kick back with top shelf liquor, craft beer, and your favorite premium cigars while being surrounded by plenty of TVs so you never miss a play. And don't forget, before you head out, stop into Don Juan Cigar Company to bring that experience home with you. Don Juan Cigar Bar and Don Juan Cigar Company, Louisiana's go-to for aficionados and first-timers alike. Visit DonJuanCigarBar.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's press conference. So it will be about 11:40 today. We'll hear from Brian Kelly. And the annual opponents released by Chris Lowe from On3. The official announcement coming tomorrow night is LSU playing.
Do we know the rest of the schedules, though?
No.
Are they releasing that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least that's my understanding that they're going to do that. And that's important to remember that, just because you don't have certain schools as an annual opponent, you're still playing 9 out of 15. So no, you're not playing Alabama every year, but it's not like is going to be a year where you steer around Alabama and Georgia and Texas and Auburn and Florida. I mean, you're going to play somebody. Don't worry about the schedule being entertaining. That's going to take care of itself. It's just going to look a little bit different for everybody. Take a break here, top of the hour. Back on the other side.
Soften your stance with this new schedule we got, huh?
I'm in a good mood, Jimmy. I'm in a good mood. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast. Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, premiering September 9th wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org. Craving an unforgettable dining experience? Head to Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel, where culinary excellence meets a welcoming atmosphere. Awarded the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence, Tallulah is one of just 6 Baton Rouge restaurants to earn this prestigious honor. Join us for live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or enjoy our weekly Blue Plate lunch specials and happy hour favorites. Visit Tallulah at the Renaissance Baton Rouge, where every meal is a celebration.
Picture your dream bathroom. Got it? How about making it happen with David Duvall and One Bath and Closets? For more than 3 decades, David's been remodeling homes with a concentration on the most popular room in your home, your bathroom. Whether it's a tub to shower conversion or a complete renovation, the great thing about One Bath and Closets is that David handles everything. One company, one contractor, One Bath and Closets. Check out the gallery of his most recent projects and schedule your free in-home consultation online at onebathandclosets.com. That's onebathandclosets.com.
Feeling fatigued and lacking your usual zest for life? Low T could be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers testosterone therapy plans starting at $125 a month with no contracts. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we invite you to come out here to Big Mike's for lunch, but also Monday nights is all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp. That's every Monday night here at Big Mike's starting at 5 o'clock. Line dancing on Wednesday nights starting at 6:30, and Wednesday nights also $1 wings. And for every LSU game, there's a DJ going. Watch parties here in the big room at Big Mike's, and live music here every weekend. Open late after high school football games on Friday nights, family friendly, so you can bring the kids in for a late meal after high school football here in Denham Springs. And we said at the top of the show, but congratulations to Big Mike himself for being recognized last week for his tireless contributions here in the Denham Springs community by putting him in the Denham Springs Hall of Fame. The big weekend in college football. Some of the other games. We talked a little bit about Oklahoma and Auburn, but a little bit more on that, Jimmy, because that game, I think you're right for sure that Auburn was the right side in that game, and Oklahoma, between the hideaway, the scoop and score, and the late safety, was fortunate to cover in the game. But more so about what do you think about Auburn and Jackson Arnold? He was sacked. I've seen 9 and I've seen 10 on the stats.
10, I think, most.
There was a little bit of a dispute, but plenty, okay? That he was it was a school record for Oklahoma in sacks.
So Jeff G. and Tex Morris are Auburn guys who were going to watch it very much closer than any of us. And I asked them what their opinion on Arnold was, and they, everybody agrees he's holding the ball too long. So why? Even Nick Saban on game day says he talked about Arch Manning and Jackson and Arnold, and said that they're not committed to the pocket. They're too much running, and giving up on routes early. Hugh Freeze says he's trying to get him to go through his progressions, and maybe that's contributing to him holding the ball a little bit more. Maybe he's not ready to just make his full progressions, but he's kind of a one-looking tuck type of guy. And we got 13 starts now career. He's kind of it's been a choppy starts too. A bowl game, a half a season here, 3 or 4 games this season. So different. So we got to allow him to develop also, and maybe he'll get it right. But they have way too many explosive guys at wide receiver not to try and get them to get it out quicker. And part of that is Hugh Freeze too. Call some stuff that he has to get.
Help your quarterback.
To call him, and they also think that the offensive line is not terrific. They were mediocre last year at best. They returned a lot of them. They hoped they would improve, but that's been a little bit of an issue as well. But their overall roster, and these guys said they thought that this was Freeze's best roster at Auburn, and it is. It is. And with all that being said, with Jackson Arnold, he's a big upgrade, and he gives him a chance, even though he's dangerous because he can throw the ball 40, 50 yards downfield, and those guys are legitimate threats, at wideout. And he can run. It's just trying to get in that happy medium, Charlie. And I thought the Baylor game, the coach, the design running plays let me know that not only is he more confident in his legs and his arm at this stage of his career, quarterback, but the staff is too. I mean, over and over and over. So
what I like about Auburn is the run defense. That is as solid a run defense as I've seen in the first month. they made Oklahoma work for their – now, you can throw the ball on them a little bit, but they really made Oklahoma work for their rush yards, and that includes Mateer, who's a real threat to run and did not get loose in this game. They held Oklahoma to 32 yards on the ground. And in the points scored in the Baylor game, they were scored mostly with the passing attack. They held Baylor to under 3 yards a carry, too. So that run defense, I think, is for real. Now, can they, work out their problems with Arnold on the offense? I don't know, but that run defense seems like it's going to be what carries the day. They're their most prolific unit from what I've seen so far.
I mean, the yards were right even. The first downs, Auburn had a couple. It just the problem was, Charlie, and this is where, okay, so Arnold, and this is where I thought Jalen Hurts was kind of proved me wrong yesterday, and that is, wait a minute, when they're behind, he's got to throw a lot. He's not as effective. And then the way the Rams, and he let him back. He got it going. He made some good throws. Arnold on third down, 3 of 15. So, when these obvious passing situations, when he's got it, it's just he's not there yet, and he can be. He can be. I can see watching him in high school and say, oh, this kid's a 5-star. Good size, good arm, athleticism. No, I mean, he's got all the tools. He's just got to, kind of help him out. Coach him, Freeze. Coach him. And one thing about Freeze and Kiffin, they're always him. And whether it was Machine Gun Kelly, what was it? Well, Ice Kelly, Swag Kelly,
yeah.
Swag Kelly, or Bo Wallace. At the end of it, they would always have 10 design runs for those quarterbacks. So he'd mix it in there. He's got that, but it's a little lopsided right now, and it just help him out a little bit, coach him.
Another quarterback who was iffy to play in this week, and we've been watching it very close, Lenore Sellers.
Oh.
South Carolina lost to Missouri 29-20, but Sellers did play in the game and threw the ball really well, threw for over 300 yards in the game. And, Jimmy, he made what I thought was the best throw I saw all weekend, maybe that I've seen in the young season so far. They're playing 3rd and 37 at midfield late in the third quarter. And he rolled 3rd and 37. What do you call? He rolls to his left, twists his body, and throws about a 35-yard frozen rope to a guy that's going towards the sideline. Hits him right in stride, and his momentum carries him out of bounds for a 33-yard gain. They end up kicking the field goal out of that because it was still 4th down. But that's why we saw the poll yesterday. They polled, I think it was 20 general managers on who would be the best quarterback coming out in this year's draft. Sellers and Nussmeier
this
were the
was
top
Saturday
two.
morning,
Yeah,
before the game Saturday.
Sellers got 7 votes and Nussmeier got 6, so it's very close. But throws like that are why you see why people are enamored with the size, the arm strength, and that throw was really something. He's not a finished product, but that was an impressive performance, I thought.
And Anthony Richards can have that one type of throw too. Okay, they're capable, all right. But I'm more concerned with the that's not going to happen all the time. What is he going to do over the regular course of the game? The majority of the snaps, and he has picked up his passing considerably in a short time before he was knocked out with the concussion against Vanderbilt, where he's 6 of 7 for 94 yards. I mean, he did throw a pick in that game. But this, Charlie, 13.4 yards an attempt. This game, he was 11 yards an attempt. 2 TDs, no interceptions. I mean, he's in my eyeballs, too. And he's starting to hit guys in stride. He's starting to get a little comfortable. This is a guy on a 2-point conversion at Tuscaloosa last year, threw the ball in the stands. Okay? I mean, what? I mean, it's Russell Wilson last night hitting the goalpost on 4th down. I mean,
and Sellers didn't get called for intentional grounding.
Well, there was another one he got thrown for, in the tunnel downs before. But you're starting to see some progress. He reminded me of Richardson a little bit. I will say I saw one of those games. I don't know where it came from with Richardson against Tennessee, but he looked like, that's his whole highlight film. He threw the ball better in that game than he ever has, and we're seeing why he's sitting right now, even after investing in a top 5 pick and sitting him for a journeyman at quarterback. But Sellers is starting to show some signs that he will be a little bit more of an accomplished passer. He's going to have more starts. That's the one thing. This is year 2, right?
Yep.
Full-time starter.
Yeah.
Richardson never gave himself that chance. But Sellers, the last 2 games, has really taken a next step as far as a passer. And I think he and Green, I know it was
That's where I'm going
an offensive
next.
game, and maybe the yards were a little bit. Maybe Missouri's a little tougher defense in Memphis, but these 2 guys they're in losses. Both of their teams lost, but they're playing good football right now.
And Taylor Green was where I was going next. Be an entertaining game with Notre Dame and Arkansas this week. Should be plenty of points in that one. They lost the game, but I've long said Taylor Green is one of the scarier guys when he gets going. And unlike some of the other quarterbacks we've been talking about, there's plenty starts here. There were 35 starts coming into this season, a lot of those at Boise State, and second year with Bobby Petrino. Now, watch this story for the rest of the year, because if they move Sam Pittman before the end of the year, and they're already starting to rumble about that they could.
Oh, really? They're trying to boycott the first game ever against Notre Dame.
Yeah. If that happens, then Petrino would obviously be the head coach. Stay tuned there. But Taylor Green, man, that ability and all that, they're a scary team, because any one game he can get going, and he's good enough to beat a lot of people, I think.
He's good enough to keep them in games.
That defense is a problem.
Yeah,
the defense is a problem.
To beat, I would kind of. He was good enough. I mean, he was great. I mean, in the game on Saturday,
he threw 2 interceptions. I can't ignore that, but he did plenty more on the positive side.
He had all those starts at Boise State, but so Jaden Daniels had a bunch of starts at Arizona State before he came here. But the second year was a huge jump as a passer for Jaden Daniels. And to be honest, what I'm seeing with Jackson Arnold right now reminds me of Jaden Daniels. If you didn't watch Jaden Daniels his first year at LSU and did not scream at the TV to let the ball go, you just weren't watching. And so but Taylor Green, there's a big jump from last year and this year under Bobby Petrino. And so maybe it's 2 years in the same place. Maybe it's 2 years with Bobby Petrino. Whatever it is, he made some beautiful throws, Charlie. I mean, both these guys. I mean, it was wow that they have, and they just weren't like that. Taylor Green did have a very good bowl game. That was a lot of guys. They were all sitting for that game, if you remember, and they were big, like double-digit underdog, and he was really good in that game. So maybe something to build on there, but. And look, Memphis was not very good on defense, and Arkansas lost that game. I mean, come on. I mean, but not only that, but one thing you got to do right there. No matter what you do, ball security. That's all they can do is try and knock it out. That's all they can do. And I understand trying to score 7, so I can't be with the college kickers. You know how that goes. You never know what's going to happen. But man, it doesn't matter if it's Bielema, if it's Pittman, if it's, who's the – they always find ways to lose, huh? They have had their bad luck in some of these games.
Notre Dame and Arkansas this week, total is 64.5. Sounds light to me. I think it's going to be plenty of points scored in that.
Because Notre Dame, Purdue – it was.
They gave up 30 points to Purdue.
Right. Yeah. No, Purdue with the ball consistently all game. No, it was a shootout. It was a shootout. That Notre Dame offense is pretty good. I like the quarterback. He's got
a little something to him. C.J. Carr.
He's got some ability too.
Yeah.
And the other Notre Dame kid, Angeli, he's out for the year with Achilles. Probably Ricky Collins, but he lit it up on Saturday.
He was rolling. He was leading ACC in passing, but he's done for the year. We're brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and Heating, Generators, Electricity, and Plumbing, your one-stop sales shop for all of these needs. Since 1980, the slogan's been service today, every day. So when you call, you get service that day, so you never have to go to sleep hot. Full service staff in both New Orleans and Baton Rouge, an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, Generac and Cummings generators. your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. Live at Big Mike's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sometimes it's so hard to find someone to do home repair, odd jobs due to storm damage, or just regular wear and tear over time to your home. Do like I did and call Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition. Roofing, flooring, debris removal, electric, sheetrock, painting, and much more. Pretty much whatever home maintenance you need, Clean Sweep can handle it. Call Pat Green at 300-7064 for a free no-obligation estimate. Fully licensed and insured, reasonably priced, and for over 20 years in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition, 300-7064.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
1950 Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Come on by and join us here for our lunch at Big Mike's, but also tonight for all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp every Monday night here at Big Mike's, starting at 5 o'clock all the way until close.
All-you-can-eat boiled shrimp.
Yeah, every
Bad,
Monday
baby.
night.
That's not bad.
If you're not eating red beans on Mondays, come eat
That's
some boiled
right.
shrimp
There you
here
go.
at Big Mike's. Dude, we've seen a lot of Saints games in our lives. A lot of bad Saints games, a lot of bad losses, a lot of ugly performances. Yesterday is right up there with the ugliest that I have ever seen New Orleans look. Give up a franchise record 38 points in the first half, which
Franchise record
for most points given up in the first half. Seattle obviously, scaled everything back in the second half. They won this game 44-13. They could have won this game 74-13 probably if they had wanted to. Usually you can come up with at least one little bright spot in a game. I can't come up with any for this game. The Saints were bad in all three phases. They were particularly bad in special teams. You allow a blocked punt. You allow a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. You haven't had both of those things happen in the same game since 1976. It actually happened twice yesterday because it happened in the Washington game. Also, Seattle's offense didn't really have to do a lot of the heavy lifting in this thing. It's 21-0 before you looked up. I don't know. This was going to be a bad year. It's going to be an awful year. I'm just looking for some bright spots here and there. I can't seem to find any. I'd like to be able to point out one or two guys that played well, and maybe there were a couple. I know Chris Olave had some catches, but who cares? It's tough because I don't see the light on the other end of the tunnel. Now, what I did want to ask you about was
no moral victory yesterday.
Right. So what does this say about Kellen Moore early? And I don't think that this guy. Hang on. Let me ask a question before you. I don't know how you can judge him at this point.
No.
You're asking him to play poker with no cards.
100%.
So I don't. What can I say about him? If coaching matters if you've got a fair fight talent-wise, but there's only so many things you can do. That being said, there are this is cosmetic stuff, okay? But when you're down 35, you don't need to kick a field goal, okay? Well, you're going to cut it to 32. Those kind of things aggravate me, but it's way down the list. And the scare.
I mean, you really thought if they had 7, they're going for 7, they had more of a chance to come back?
No, that's what I said. What does it matter?
It's just optics.
It's cosmetic. It's cosmetic.
It really doesn't matter.
It does. It's attitude, but it's cosmetic. They were going to get routed no matter what, and they're probably going to get routed again next week when they go to Buffalo. And I'm trying to say, okay, this season won't be a waste if they go through it and they learn some things and they develop some younger players and they make some progress towards getting their systems in and they just start to look a little bit better. So is this rock bottom, or is next week going to be rock bottom? They get beat by 40, again. I don't know. But in the back of my head, I keep saying, okay, what do you have to do for this team? You have to get better players. And if the same guy is picking the players, has been picking the players for the last 6 years, then it doesn't matter what pick they get. None of these young guys are really developing the way that you would like to see. Brian Brzee is a good example. Okay, I liked the pick when they made him out of Clemson. Okay, and I thought he could be a good player, maybe even a really good player, maybe even a Pro Bowl type player later in his career. In year 3, he's kind of meh. He's not a terrible player, but, I thought he was making some progress. And then yesterday, and this is early enough in the game that it actually made a difference, they got a 3rd down and 8. They're going to get off the field, and he headbutts a guy. Well, this is stupid, okay? That's stupid football. And what happened? Seattle got a 1st down out of it. Darnold hit Smith and Jigba for the touchdown, and you should have been off the field with a field goal attempt, and you end up giving up the touchdown. That's just one of a bunch that I could point out from yesterday. So
you want me to contribute now?
Sure.
Okay. Because everything you're saying, that I know you don't like me to talk about the Saints, but it's only what I told you in the summer. When I'm like, oh, really got to talk about the Saints again? Really? I mean, they don't have a chance. And Kellen Moore is not having a fair chance in this thing. You can't evaluate Kellen Moore for what they've done with this thing. This is all Loomis. And, I mean, at what point does Miss Gale, interrupt her compromised organization and say, no, there's no general manager that can live with this track record and survive? I mean, did I expect yesterday to be, pick the Saints plus 7.5? I don't think they were that bad. It's not going to be as bad as that all the time, and it might not be as good, but this is 3-14. This is close. I mean, who are they as bad as the Titans?
It's what and what. They're
Who else is in the conversation?
There's 0-3 teams right now.
Well, they're not Houston.
No, Houston's
banged up right now.
Yeah, they're a competitive team.
Giants.
The Giants are right there. Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, that defensive front for the Giants. I mean, the Saints don't have any unit like that.
No, I meant the Giants are right there with not with the Texans, but they're closer towards respectability than the Saints are.
Yeah.
They have their quarterback on roster now. Whether he's going to be good or not, I don't know. The Dolphins are probably in a bad shape.
The Dolphins were driving to tie the game late against the Bills. Watch what the Saints do at Buffalo Sunday.
The Saints
are incapable of having that type of game.
Yeah, they're worse than the Dolphins.
The Dolphins had that game at Colts was as bad as the Saints yesterday at Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. So they're capable of that, but the Saints don't have Tua and those Charlie. Those guys, no, they don't have.
They're the worst team. They're the worst situation in the league.
Oh, we knew that before they teed it up for the first time.
Well, not only. If the Saints and the Titans played today at a neutral site, I'd probably flip a coin, okay? But the Titans at least have their guy. They have their quarterback.
Yeah, they're taking their lumps with the rookie quarterback.
Is he going to be good or not? I don't know. I know that right now Calvin Ridley can't catch a pop fly with a circus net, so it's not helping him.
I was like, who is Zero? He keeps dropping them left and right.
Yeah, that's Calvin Ridley, the veteran receiver that is supposed to be his number one.
To be fair, though, Harrison Jr. dropped two that were unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's scary if you're Arizona because they got a lot invested in that guy, and they thought he would be really good, and he hasn't been. Ridley used to be good, and it's like, what is up with you, man? I mean, he can't catch anything right now. But at least they've got it in place, okay? They probably got the wrong coach.
They do have the wrong coach.
But they can fix. That's an easy fix, okay? You fire that
so
guy.
So that's actually a good path for them.
Yeah.
Because, okay, coach, this is your guy for future quarterback. He's going to take his lumps and, go through this, and we'll fire you at the end of the season. But and then you bring in another guy.
And they're opening up a new stadium in a couple of years, so you get some momentum. But you get to feeling good about the organization.
The stadium means nothing to me. I mean, I don't care if this, they're not hosting Super Bowls. I mean, what does that
they are.
mean? I mean, well,
they will, but it just
Charlie,
it feels good about
significant.
It feels good about the organization, and I don't feel good about anything with this organization.
Okay,
right
if the stadium makes you feel good, that's fine. I don't care where they play.
Okay, I think it helps, but
I don't care.
Okay,
it means nothing to as far as winning football games or not. The thing is that nobody has as bad of a front office situation in such an impactful, influential position in your organization. Nobody. And so, I mean, it's like Jerry Jones. They show him in the box, and he's like, he thinks he's all in. And they show him, and he's just like, he just expects different results when he's hampering his team. No, Jerry, you're the reason. Who in the hell thought this pile of crap was going to be turned into chicken salad? Who? Kellen Moore, new coach. Okay. No, they don't have a chance. And Kellen Moore, what is it? The veteran writer in New Orleans, Kellen Moore's honeymoon is over? No, what are you talking about? This guy is not given a fair shake at all. We can't tell one thing about Kellen Moore with this team right now. And in Brazil, it's just it's not going to get better. Let me know when Loomis is removed, okay? And we'll say, well, that's not going to happen until we're 6 feet under. All right, well, I mean, they suck. The organization sucks. Miss Gale is a beautiful person, but she's a horrible owner, allowing this to fester. I mean, she's always been pretty good at reading the room. I mean, figure it out. Why is your roster so bad? He's got to go. Bringing in some ex-GM as an assistant scout or whatever. McKay, what was the guy that bring it in from the Falcons? Come on, man.
Well,
Loomis
if he takes over as GM next year, if he takes over as GM next year, then I'm fine.
Well, anybody takes over. It gives you a chance.
Yes.
You have no chance with Mickey Loomis.
He
is given a more than enough opportunity. He's a problem.
If they finish 2-15, which is where I think that they will finish. And they get the first pick in the draft. If Loomis is making that pick, I got no confidence that they're going to do the right thing. I got no confidence that they can pick guys on the other side. And, yeah, I'm sorry, we have to call Gail Benson out at this point. What did she do on the basketball side? She brought in somebody that she knew, somebody that she was comfortable with, and he promptly traded away next year's first-round draft pick. And really a double pick when you get to it. And it's like, hang on. Not only are you crushing our soul for what's going on right now, you're giving us no hope for the future. I can sit here and hope that the Saints lose every week so that they get the first pick in the draft. What happened the last time the Saints had the first pick in the draft? They took George Rogers, who was a good player. They passed on the guy who was probably the scariest defensive player to ever put on a pair of cleats with the second pick. You know, and I fear that the same thing will happen again. Whoever the quarterback is that they take, it'll be the wrong one if he's doing the picking.
He's got to go. You don't have a chance until he's gone.
Yeah.
And all you need to know is with the status of the Saints, we know there was a lot of comment. They were in the running for the worst team in the league this year. Okay? This guy told his close friends, I don't want this to be part of my legacy. I want to be the one that's turned him around. You have no shot. You can bring the best GM in right now. It can't be done for a couple of years. It can't be done. Nobody's going to win with this roster. Not Kellen Moore, not an assistant to a former GM for the Falcons. No, nobody, especially you, can't get it done. So, I mean, it's just.
The longer he stays.
I don't want you to sit here on a Monday in football season, act like you're surprised.
I'm not surprised. Do you think I'm surprised?
I mean, you and Max breaking out, man, that's a good sign. This guy's coming in. This is a nice scout.
I would like to not ignore the Saints. I would like to at least pay attention to what the Saints are doing, okay? So I can comment on it. I'm not in any way optimistic.
But that is not a game where you sit back and we don't like to get too big picture, okay, whatever. But that game yesterday was not a game where Brazil, you pick a play here, you pick a play there, you pick a play here. That's big picture. That's a big picture game. You can't. That's a colossal loss. This is a franchise that had a lot of low spots, and that's a record for most points and the biggest deficit at halftime.
In the first half, you're the most penalized team in the league, so they're not well coached. But I don't know how much a chance he would have anyway. So it's depressing. And the longer Loomis stays, the more his legacy will be that the good that happened was because of Sean Payton, and the bad that happened was because of Mickey. And that may not be completely fair, but that's.
If he has somebody close to him and says, no, Mickey, no, to save your legacy, get out now.
Out. Yes. Get
I
out.
know I said that before this disaster unfolded. So. Don't forget our friends over at Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Getting an accident like I did, it's a pain in the backside. Yes, indeed. So car got totaled. Man, what am I going to do? Help me get a rental. I got to go see a doctor. I got to go see a specialist because I got headaches and this and that. He scheduled everything for him. Man, the insurance companies wear me out. They wanted to ask all these questions. No, you got to give them. After you have the initial interview with them, we'll take over everything from there. So he's going to make everything as pain-free. It's not pain-free, but absorb the pain as much as possible. Call Dana Brown at 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Big Mike's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total maintenance.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis' original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Buzzy Hydell for the Morris Insurance Group. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now finding policies to fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look again. For owners or renters, the Morris Insurance Group can help you all the way to the duck camp or the fishing boat. We also have policies on coastal properties, including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves in the event of damage. For your camps, boats and trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors, get a quote today at morris-ig.com or call 225-201-0007.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
A couple of minutes away from going to the Brian Kelly press conference. We'll see what he's got to say about LSU's win and the upcoming game with Ole Miss. Also, if he bites on the league hasn't announced these official annual opponents, but it's been released and confirmed by multiple reports. So we'll see if he comments on LSU drawing Arkansas, Ole Miss, and A&M as their annual opponents. Also interested if he says anything about the suspension of DJ Chester for the first half for the targeting call this past week. It leaves LSU somewhat thin at center with something that happened to Braylon Moore. Also, Chester played the first drive of the second half at right tackle where Weston Davis has struggled. So they'll be a little bit thinner to open this game. We'll see what he says about that. And sure he's not gonna say anything about which quarterback he would rather face. Wouldn't do that. But we're expecting Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss this weekend against LSU, where this spread now, Jimmy, is up to 2.5, I believe.
Yeah, it flipped. Look ahead line was LSU 1.5. But, LSU played a run-a-win, and Ole Miss destroyed a much more respected team.
They were favored by 12 and won by 35. So that moved it.
You cover by 30, that'll boost your power rating. Now, it didn't open up 2.5. It opened up 1.5. So a little support early on Ole Miss. I would love for it to get to 3. because I would take the other side. Could be it's a great game. It's a great matchup. It's Ole Miss's strength is their offense, and LSU's strength is their defense, and so both teams. I mean, LSU's going to get some stops. Ole Miss is going to score some points, and then LSU, vice versa. They're going to get some points, against Ole Miss. Everybody will. The Tulane was bad, really bad, and Rhett's laugh. It starts with him on Saturday in Oxford.
Here at Big Mike's, where you come on in for lunch, but also tonight for all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp. That's every Monday night. Line dancing on Wednesday nights. Dollar wings on Wednesday nights. DJ and watch parties here for every LSU game. Happy hour 3 to 7 Monday through Friday with $2.50 beer, draft, and bottled domestic beers, $4 wells, and $5 wines here at Big Mike's. And they're open late after high school football every Friday night here at Big Mike's, and it is family friendly. We'll see you to the press conference, and we're back on the other side live at lunch from Big Mike's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jordan, you feed it to us?
Yeah, it has to come out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jordan, I missed that last break.
It's
Did you
game
catch it?
week for LSU fighting.
Wait, say that again?
The sponsors that ran in the last 11:30 break.
Hold on. It was I'll text them to you because
Okay, cool. Yeah, text it to me. That'd be great. Thank you.
It's LSU versus the Ole Miss Rebels in Oxford.
There's no perfection out there, but there was definitely some progress. So we made the progress that we were looking for. Now we got to build on that going into Ole Miss on the road against a very good football team.
Coming up, head coach Brian Kelly sets the tone for the Tigers this week and updates all things LSU football. But first, with a preview of this week's matchup from inside the Capital One studio at legendary Tiger Stadium, here are former Tiger Gordy Rush and the voice of your Fighting Tigers, Chris Blair.
Once again, good Monday morning, Tiger fans. Welcome into the Brian Kelly press conference. We head back into SEC play, and the Tigers, after finishing up a very successful 3-game homestand, will head out on the road to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. Welcome in. Gordy Rush, Chris Blair with you here in the Capital One studio. And Gordy, we'll talk about Ole Miss and LSU. It's that classic SEC matchup, obviously, that goes back years and years. The 111th meeting coming up between the Rebs and the Tigers. But we'll start with LSU. As I said, really a great 3-game homestand. They find themselves now 4-0 on the season. And it was a get-right game. I mean, that's kind of the theme we had last week. We talked about it. Coach Kelly talked about it. He didn't know. He kept saying, hey, I don't know how this game's going to go. So we're preparing for it regardless of who the opponent is. But as it turned out, it went exactly according to script for the most part. A couple of injuries, which we'll talk about. But my goodness, the offense did get on track. It was just what the doctor said they needed to do, and they did.
And how about Garrett Nussmeier? I thought he had an outstanding game. Garrett, in the press conference, I think Monday or Tuesday earlier in the week, Coach Kelly talked about that he had been dealing with a torso injury. There was some question out there in the media whether or not he was even going to play, and indeed he played, and he needed to because it felt like he got in rhythm. He was able to stretch the football field with some deep passes. He was very accurate in some intermediate stuff. He ran the football a couple times, and you could see he's getting as close to 100% health as we've seen him this season. So for number 18, it was a huge game for him.
Yeah, 25 for 31, 273 yards. They'd throw for 3 touchdowns. Exciting to see him rush for a touchdown there. Also had his longest career run, which he was pretty fired up about, and let the crowd know that almost like, Gladiator, are you not entertained after the big run? Distributed the ball well. And I guess the thing that stands out to me is, number one, you see him running. which says he must feel pretty good. But as you said, I mean, a couple of those throws, I mean, were right on the money. A couple when he was sprinting out, throwing against his body, still put it right between the numbers. He looked like the Garrett Nussmeier that last year led this offense to over 5,600 yards and 47 touchdowns. And that's what you need. And Coach Kelly said it. He said, I'm not shying away from the fact that we're going to have to put more points on the board. And we'll talk about it in a little bit, but you're certainly going to have to, you would think, on paper against this Ole Miss team. Running the football, we saw Juwan Johnson kind of lead things. And you and I talked about it during the broadcast. They're utilizing the screen game as an extension of the run game. We've seen that a lot, trying to open up the middle of the field. We've seen, enough running, not where they want it to be, but maybe just enough. But Juwan Johnson and Xavier Thomas, when they enter into the run game, they're not just fast. They don't just have great cuts. We saw Juwan Johnson wearing number 8, lay a couple of hits and be physical. And I think that's what kind of excited me the most.
Well, they both can run physical, and what excites me is that they can do so many things when they're on the football field. They both can line up as running backs. They both can line up as wide receivers. We know that Thomas can go way down the field and catch a pass. He can also, take a screen. He can take a reverse. He's so versatile that as a defensive coordinator, it's a lot to prepare for when you have to deal with 8 and 0, not to mention Anderson and Brown and how capable they are to take a handoff at any time. It's really tough to scheme and game plan for this LSU offense.
The tip of the cap also to Bauer Sharp, again, having to fill in without the option of Tradez Green, which is great. We saw him warming up with the team, wasn't able to go. But we'll maybe get a little update here on what the plan is for Tradez this week. But Bauer Sharp, not only out there blocking, trying to help the run game, but a couple of big catches and obviously found the end zone, his first touchdown as a Tiger. I want to talk real quick about Garrett, too. This shouldn't go unnoticed. He now is the LSU leader with career games with 25-plus completions, and that ellipses the great Joe Burrow. So congratulations to Garrett there. That's pretty good company to be in. Defensively, again, you check all the boxes. I mean, obviously, Southeastern Louisiana able to put 10 points on the board, and every defense, every game wants to throw the shutout. But when the ones were out there, it was a, pretty much dominating performance. The Lions never crossed the 50 there in the first half. I think had a total of 30 yards. The defense did once again what we've seen this defense do in 4 straight weeks.
Look, they were mentally sharp, and that's what you worry about in a game like last Saturday night against Southeastern. After the big emotional game against Florida, you're going to win that game. You still have to play at the standard, at a high level, the way that the coach likes to say it. And, the hard thing about Southeastern, they gave you a lot of different looks. I mean, this is a really creative offense. You had a quarterback that was a pocket passer and was Camp, and then Lowe was an athletic quarterback. So you got 2 different guys. And the good thing about that is you're going to see all of it next week against Ole Miss, because nobody's more creative than Lane Kiffin.
It'll be LSU and Ole Miss in Oxford coming up. Of course, last year's game here in Baton Rouge was an absolute thriller. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of set the table for the matchup. Coming up at 12 noon, of course, Coach Brian Kelly will be at football operations to give us the very latest and what his team's planning to do this week as they travel on the road, trying to stay unbeaten in SEC play. We'll talk about LSU and Ole Miss right after this.
In Louisiana, we love our LSU Tigers. When the band strikes up those 4 iconic notes, the fans go wild. At Louisiana Blue, we're Tiger fans too. That's why we've teamed up with LSU Athletics to bring you the compassion of the cross and security of the shield, so you're free to wear your stripes and roar. Live Louisiana. We've got you.
Attention vehicle owners, before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins. Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiella at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and WorkboxLLC.com.
And win where you are.
Trust isn't given. It's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here. Visit OLOLRMC.com/LSU.
Coming up, Coach Kelly addresses the media on this week's preparation. This is the Brian Kelly Press Conference, presented by the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. Here again are Gordy and Chris.
Back here inside the Capital One studio, we're about 11 minutes or so away from Coach Brian Kelly joining us from football operations, addressing the assembled media, talk about the win over Southeastern to move to 4-0, and probably the majority of the conversation going to come down to the matchup this Saturday in Oxford. LSU coming in this week ranked number 4 according to the AP. They moved down a spot, and Ole Miss, after the win over Tulane at home, will be coming in also undefeated. Michael Bonnet had a great nugget earlier today, and this will be the first time that Ole Miss and LSU, again playing a little earlier in the season, but first time they've been undefeated and untied going into this matchup, going back to 1959, Gordy. And in fact, I went over and checked with Michael this morning. It's the first time that both teams have been undefeated going into a matchup since 1962. So it's, again, one of those classic SEC rivalries. And going to be a huge game with a 2:30 kickoff there from Vaught Hemingway. Obviously, Lane Kiffin, you start talking offense, and they put points on the board. No surprise. They're off to a 4-0 start. They handled Georgia State rather easily at home, putting up a boatload of points. This past week, as we said, got a win at home over Tulane, 45-10. But really, for our argument or debate at this moment, Gordy, I want to look at the two SEC games now. They are 2-0. They got a win over Kentucky, which had been a problem for them over the last couple of years. 30-23, they get by the Wildcats. And then a score fest with Arkansas, 41-35. So I guess Coach Kiffin would probably agree that the offense a little ahead of the defense, at least early on in the year.
No question. And look, they played their most complete game of the year against Tulane, Chris, and they got a great defensive effort out of their group against the Green Wave. Offensively, they were hitting on all cylinders, so everything clicked in that ball game. But going back to the shootouts, what jumped out at me was this is a team that, like LSU, had a lot of kids come in the transfer portal, and they're just starting to gel, right? They're starting to gel. Defensively, there's been a bunch of missed assignments, and that, I think, explains that. But offensively, Ole Miss has got themselves a quarterback controversy. Now, I don't know how Coach Kiffin is going to handle it, but Austin Simmons was the guy we heard about all offseason. Tremendous talent. Left-hander, and it was, of course, Jackson Dart's backup, and they were really excited about him. But late in the transfer portal, he went and got a Division III quarterback in Trinidad Chambliss from Ferris State. And he played last week against Arkansas. He started against Tulane, and he has been dynamic. So not sure if Simmons' injury, who went down a little bit in the Arkansas game, what is his status? But there's been a lot of discussion about both guys this weekend, and Ole Miss following the Tulane win.
Well, I don't want to go out on a limb here and say Lane Kiffin sometimes likes to play a little gamesmanship, but I do know during the game, watching most of that Tulane game, that Simmons would be, between series, he would be warming up, and everybody kept thinking, okay, is he going to go in now? Which he did go in the week before when he didn't feel, 100%. So, again, I don't know if you're preparing for both. I don't know that if Simmons is 100% and cleared, ready to go, feels 100%, that he's the guy, and then we may see Chambliss in a switch-up. You mentioned it, the preparation last week for two quarterbacks you knew about. I guess you kind of got to do the same thing if you're Coach Baker and company this week, depending on who's going to be behind center. Now, Lane's press conference, I think, just got underway up in Oxford maybe 5-7 minutes ago, so maybe he's going to declare who's going to start. But you got to be prepared for both.
Look, there's no way that he declares. We know the way that Lane does. And nobody scripts a better first couple series in college football better than Lane Kiffin. I mean, he comes up, he's going to run that NASCAR offense. They're going to go quick, and he's usually got the first 15 to 20 plays scripted, and it's really creative and real well thought out. Look, I think what Trinidad Chambliss brings to the table, it's two things. He's a little bit quicker than Simmons. Not that Simmons isn't capable of running the football. And surprisingly, he's been really accurate throwing the football. When you look at thus far, he's thrown at a 67.7 percentage clip, 42 of 62, 4 touchdowns, 186.4 efficiency. That's remarkable for a kid that's making a step up in competition. And for LSU, what jumped out at me against Tulane, he threw 3 long balls, in-man coverage, vertical routes, and dropped them right in there. And so he's played really, really well. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Chambliss that was starting in this game.
Defensively, as we said, they gave up 23 points to the Wildcats. They gave up 35 to this Arkansas Razorback team. Pete Golden, in his third year as defensive coordinator, of course, made a name for himself at Alabama. You talk about gelling with the transfer portal. I know last year they lost a number of guys on that defensive side. But what do you see defensively? I mean, it's typically you know what Golden wants to do, but does he have the horses to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's $1 million question. I think they got a break in the sense that Tulane, with their new quarterback, Jake Retzlaff, that came from BYU, kind of a spread the run type of team. They're not elite throwing the football. Arkansas, a couple weeks ago, elite throwing the football with Bobby Petrino calling plays. I mean, they're fantastic, and Taylon Green's had a whale of a season for the Razorbacks. He is, I think, trying to push this group together. They're not as talented as they were a year ago. That was one of the best Ole Miss defenses, I think, in the last 10 or 20 years. And they hit the portal really hard. I think they're trying to put it together, and they're going to have a test on their hands trying to defend all these LSU receivers.
Yeah, Jaden Yates named SEC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against Tulane. They also have a pretty good linebacker that they liken to kind of the disruptor in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, Mr. Perkins is fantastic. I call him he reminds me so much of Harold Perkins Jr. Because he's athletic, and you see him out there, Sonatarine Perkins. Right, Chris? Yep. I'll get that right by game time. But he is electric. He's an edge rusher. He can play in space. But as he's gotten older in his career, this is year number 3 for Perkins as an Ole Miss Rebel. He's a guy that they're on third down, they're going to put on the edge, and he's going to rush a passer. He is dynamic and very quick.
Now, I go back to everything working for LSU. They got the big score early, got the big lead, and then we were able to see a lot of reserves get some meaningful playing time. Obviously, I think the headline probably was Michael Van Buren, who was excellent. I mean, he and Garrett combined for about 81% completion. So he didn't have a drop-off in completions in the passing game. But after the game, we learned that Caden Durham, again, came out of the game, had a little injury. It sounded like, again, good news, wasn't as bad as maybe initially anticipated. I'm sure that's going to be asked. We'll find out a little bit more. But you certainly want to have all hands on deck when you go back into the SEC.
No question. And Caden Durham got hurt late in the second quarter, and it was at the point that LSU was making that sort of separation. I really didn't find out about it till after the football game because they ran with Johnson, and Johnson was running so well, and Coach talked about it. Fortunately, the MRI that they took yesterday reportedly was negative, and so it's not a high ankle sprain. He'll be day-to-day, and we'll learn a little bit later in the week his status for this game.
Well, we always talk about, the venues that LSU travels to, and, of course, it's great that the home venue here at Tiger Stadium is second to none, but it does get rowdy, you and I talk about it all the time, for maybe not the number of seats, it still gets loud between the crowd and between their speakers on 11 or 12.
Yes.
It's a loud atmosphere at Vaught Hemingway.
They did a great job of locking the Vaught down with probably one of the best sound systems in college football, because it is like a nightclub in there. Fortunately for LSU, they're not playing at night. And I laughed when Lane Kiffin, he mentioned that in his post-game press conference. He said, you know, of course, the SEC is going to make us play in day. And last year we played them at night. We'll probably play at Georgia at night. So he's not excited the game's at day. Regardless, it's a rivalry game. It's going to be loud. That's a tough place to play because the fans are right on top of you, literally. They do a good job over there.
Now, obviously, you played the game. You know what it's like. And I know you look back at last week's win, 56-10. That's the way that score is supposed to look.
Right.
But based on the 3 previous weeks, what is the upside for LSU coming out of the win Saturday, going right back into SEC play and taking on the 13th ranked Rebels? How does that help them, what happened on Saturday?
I think the upside, hopefully, is that this offense takes the confidence after performing that well against Southeastern. You realize it's Southeastern, but Garrett Nussmeier threw the ball, right? He threw the ball much better. Several wide receivers got in the game. Several of your backup targets like Johnson and Berry, some second-line players got some valuable reps. Hopefully you can take that confidence on the road and perform against, again, a rebuilt Ole Miss defense. I know they were great against Tulane. Tulane doesn't throw the ball quite as well as LSU.
Do you think Pete Golden looks back, and obviously he does, Clemson game, Florida game, even the Louisiana Tech game, a 3-3-5 defense, where, as we said most of the night, they were saying, we think we can contain the run, and we're going to put guys back to try to stop these passing lanes. Do you think there'll be any difference for Golden?
No.
Where you probably see a lot of 4-man rush and a lot of 5 and 6 in coverage?
Absolutely. You know, Pete is really known for disguising things up front very well, so I think there'll be a lot of simulated pressures. But he's going to do a good job of trying to confuse Garrett a little bit. He'll play a lot of too high, and much like Florida, he'll mix it up underneath. He'll play some man, he'll play some zone, and hope that the front four can put a little bit of pressure on Garrett, and they can maybe trick him and catch him in trying to identify something that he thinks is man. It might be zone.
Well, looking forward to it. Again, 2:30 Central Time, the ABC game. It'll be LSU and Ole Miss. And now we go to football ops. Here's head coach Brian Kelly.
What else? There's like something else going on. I can't think. Oh, the baseball playoffs, right? Tons of things. Oh, and we're playing Ole Miss. Yeah, that's pretty big. All that other stuff was just to make sure you guys were awake. Yeah, obviously, just a quick recap from this weekend. I was really pleased with the preparation of our football team. You know, going into a week where, you know, you're off from the SEC, you know, the things that are really important are how you prepare and playing to a standard. And I thought, you know, outside the first 3 and out, you know, our offense was what it should be, and that was extremely efficient. I think we had 5 consecutive touchdowns leading into the second half. You know, our defense gave up, I think, 31 yards. So, you know, what you're looking for is a dominating performance in the first half, and we certainly got that. So, really pleased with the way our guys handled the game, the way they prepared, and then their performance certainly showed that. Now we're into the SEC for, you know, a couple of months. And so each and every week is a challenge. We know the opposition each week will you know, certainly test us. But now you lean on, you know, your foundational principles. You lean on, you know, what your process is and how you go to work every day, your habits, you know, the way you prepare. And at times you're going to have to be leaning on guys that haven't started. You know, this tests your depth within your program. It tests your roster. And so all those things will come into play as we move into, you know, the next couple of months, excuse me. So Ole Miss is certainly a rivalry game, playing for the Magnolia Trophy, the Bowl Trophy. You know, I think everybody knows this is a game that goes way back, and certainly the last couple of years it was decided on the last plays of the game. Ole Miss is an outstanding football team, well coached. Lane does a great job, and again, they have an established winning culture and certainly an offense that has again put up incredible numbers offensively. And they do it with two quarterbacks now, which is very difficult to do, but they've managed it quite well with Simmons and Chambliss. Both of them have been extremely effective and efficient through their first couple of games, throwing and running. So you've got a dual threat situation. I think Lacey is one of the best backs in the league. Harrison, an outstanding wide receiver. They've got some veteran offensive linemen. And so they're so, obviously efficient at what they do and how they do it. This is what they do. And it's very similar week in and week out. And certainly the balance that they have in running and throwing the football. Defensively, Harris, Daughtery at linebacker, and Perkins at the edge. They've got an inside presence. They've got an outside presence. And they certainly have it at the linebacker who kind of, makes things happen for them. So, again, a great challenge for us, one that we're looking forward to. We got to go on the road. Anytime you go on the road in the SEC, it's a great challenge, and we recognize that going into this week. So that will open up the questions.
Brian, just to get started, updates on West Weeks, Caden Durham, Gabe Relaford, and Trades Green. What is their status now heading into the week?
West Weeks ran yesterday. I think we got him at 90%, so I would say that he is probable for this game leading into it. Trades will play. He was pretty good in pregame, and then we felt like, we could hold him back for another week. Caden Durham will be a day-to-day situation. He was better than we had first thought. Doesn't show the signs of a high ankle, so he's anxious to give it a shot and play, but we'll monitor him, throughout the week. Gabe Relaford has a subluxation of his shoulder, so he is out this week, and then we will determine whether surgery is necessary or he can play with it. We certainly want to respect the fact that in this situation, a defensive lineman, you want to make sure he's healthy and pass rush. And if he can't compete at the level he needs to, then we'll look at the options that are in front of us, and surgery could be an option. I think that covers everybody.
Hey, Coach. The last time you went to Oxford, you scored 49, didn't win the game. I think you referenced that as a low point for you guys defensively. How much better do you feel this time around with this defense going there?
I think we've talked about, even the Clemson game, right, Jacques? You feel better about those games because you're taking a defense that can stand up against the environment, going on the road and all those things. And we're a much more cohesive group. The roster's better. The players are better. Those were good, tough kids that played hard for us. But, we're a little short in some areas. So we bring a defense with us. Now we'll have to match, obviously, I don't know about all the points, but we got to score too, like we talked about last week. I mean, we can't, be scoring a touchdown or 10 points. That's not going to cut it in the SEC. So continue to play at the level that we have defensively, and then bring your offense up to the level that it needs to be to win games in the SEC.
Brian, it kind of appeared that DJ Chester would become sort of your sixth man. Would go anywhere on the offensive line. Without him for the first half, where does it leave you if you do need a backup?
Yeah, I mean, it's one that we have to adjust to this week. Braden Augustus went in there and did a solid job for us as the backup center. He'll be called on to do that again. Karius Kern now steps into that rotating tackle position for us. We have enough depth inside with Paul and Cohen Eccles. And then Ori Williams got a lot of play and did some really good things. So we just have to switch it up in the first half if we, in fact, have to go to a number two.
Coach, over here, I know you just referenced it, but playing two different quarterbacks potentially with Ole Miss and what they have. I know y'all just played two different quarterbacks in Southeast. Coach Selfley, that's what he wants to do. So how does that really help the team prepare, especially defensively, knowing that you're playing as potentially two quarterbacks this weekend?
Yeah, I think it was, in some instances, it would be like Texas A&M last year. Those are two different quarterbacks. One was a pro-style quarterback, and one was certainly a dual threat that could run zone reads, do things of that nature. And it changes you dramatically. This week, both these quarterbacks are similar. And now they have different skill sets in terms of but they can run the same offense with both of these players. So I'm not saying it's easier. It's hard, right? You've got two really good players, but it's not as that one is a pro-style quarterback and is not going to run, and the other one is simply a dual threat. They're both very similar.
Brian, I got two on Ole Miss if I can. How much and how effective does Ole Miss use tempo to their advantage? And then a lot of people consider Lane to be a great in-game play caller. What in your opinion, constitutes being a great in-game play caller?
Yeah, their tempo is the best in the league. So, you have to get lined up. And in some instances, it keeps you from doing too much. You got to get your cleats in the ground. You've got to be fundamentally sound. And I think, Lane does a great job adapting to what's going on in the game itself, right? And I think more than anything else is that, you can plan for things to happen, right? But then you have to be able to prepare what's the next step. And he's obviously very experienced at what he does. And during the game, he can adjust as he sees that he needs to.
Coach, with DJ Chester starting the second half at right tackle, what do you sort of see in him as a potential tackle option for you guys, even if he's going to miss the first half of the next game? And what does Weston Davis sort of need to improve on in order to fortify his spot a little more?
Yeah, I don't. That position's not up for grabs. Like Weston Davis has done a really good job. He needed a break. We needed it to get him back to where he needs to be as one of the five guys working together. So it was a good learning experience for him. But more importantly, we wanted to get DJ some more tackle reps. As you know, he's gotten plenty of center reps. He started 13 games for us last year. So this was more of an opportunity to get him in the game and get some more tackle reps because, as referenced earlier, he's our first guy in at any one of those five positions.
Coach, how do you view your running back room going into this game with Caden being nicked and Jawan? Has he earned more touches with the way he's playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a great job. I think Caden, certainly will be in the mix provided he's healthy, and early indications are that, he's going to be able to play. We'll see how it goes during the week. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but, we got a good report on him yesterday, and then this morning when we moved them around, it was positive. So you'll have both those guys, and I thought Caleb Jackson probably had his best game of the year in terms of seeing things, hitting them, playing physical, catching the ball out of the backfield. He was outstanding on the times that we had some two-back runs in there leading as well. So I still think we have those three, and then, we keep bringing Harlem along as he continues to grow within the offense. So I don't think we go into the game, shorthanded in any respect.
I guess just following up on Cobble's question a couple minutes ago, just the Kiffin versus Blake Baker. These are obviously two very highly regarded offensive and defensive minds. Just as a football coach, fan of football, just what do you like about just the opportunity those two get to kind of mix and match each other?
I think we're at the point that we know each other very well. I mean, both teams, for me, this is, certainly the fourth time we've played against each other. Blake's done it when he's at Missouri too. So there's no tricks really. It's not like, I never saw that coming. I think you have, when you get down to it, it's the team that really is executing at the highest level and doing the little things the right way. They're going to get theirs. There's no question. That's a great offense. But I think that's played a little bit too much because they know each other so well and they know what to expect, and both of them on offense and defense know how to make the appropriate adjustments.
Last week you talked about wanting your offense to play a little looser and freer. I guess Garrett echoed those sentiments in the postgame, saying he felt like that was the case. Did you see that on film? What did you like about your team in that instance and that they were able to just get out there and play?
Yeah, I mean, I think – it's kind of going back to what I said earlier is that I want our teams not to be so scripted. And I thought we got a little scripted offensively and, to the point where, it was so planned out and then the game starts. and then you got to adapt and adjust. And so I think as you talk about the offensive structure, I think it's continually find ways to run the ball and have a running game, and then let Garrett Nussmeier do what he does, and he loves to throw the football down the field. So I think, being a little bit more aggressive on fourth down, we had the 3 fourth down situations. I think it just, from my perspective and talking to our players, they just felt better about how we attack things, and we'll have to continue to do that moving forward.
Coach, Patrick Payton has affected the game, it feels like, more than just what shows up in the stat sheet, obviously with the injured Relaford. You just talk about what he's provided through the first, month of the season and what you like about him?
It's a great question. We were just talking about it, his unselfishness. He's not out there looking for sacks. He's out there, playing the defense. And that's going to serve him well down the road when NFL teams start to really look at his effectiveness. You come here and you're like, well, I want to, make sacks and get the, the bling plays. He's been really effective as being 1/11th of that defense. We've been really good because those guys, not just him, but Jack, and certainly Jamari, who had a really good game Saturday, they have done their jobs and not gone outside the lines to try to get individual statistics, and really proud of all of them. Well, again, I think, you recruit somebody and you see them on film and you see the things that you really like about them. I'm not surprised after getting a chance to know him since he's been here, that he's a guy that's going to do the things for your team first and foremost. And you don't know that till you get a chance to know him. But, I thought we did a really good job of, vetting the players that we brought in out. And all he really wanted when we recruited him was to play for a championship.
Brian, just how do you feel about the fact that LSU is not going to play Alabama on an annual basis? It's been reported that it'll be Arkansas as the third opponent. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm fine with the way it's set up because within 4 years you're going to play them home and away. So, yeah, you might not get them every year, but you're going to get them enough where it continues to take the big game approach to playing Alabama. So the way the schedule's set up, I feel really good about, what it looks like and all the teams that we're going to get a chance to play in the SEC.
Coach, I want to ask you about a local kid, Dylan Carpenter, gets in the game, gets a quarterback sack, has been on the team for 3 years. How do you feel about, getting rewarded for sticking around? And were there any other guys in the game who did something like that?
Yeah, I think that, here's a guy that has waited for his opportunity. We went into the portal and took some guys, and he just kept working hard every day. And so it's great to see those kind of stories with a kid from the state that had some success on Saturday, and he played well. I think he's built trust with our defensive staff and everybody, including myself, that we can put him in the game, and he's going to be a good, solid player for us. I think if you look across the board, you have like a number of guys that have had to be selfless. The first guy that comes to mind is Chris Hilton. He goes out there and plays his tail off. He's blocking. He's doing all the things. He could easily say, what about mine? Why am I not getting mine? And certainly he wants the ball. He's a competitor. And if he didn't want the ball, I'd be worried about that. But he does. But he's a teammate first, and that's why he's a leader of our football team. He would be another great example.
Brian, obviously your offensive personnel is much different now than what it was the last time you played in Oxford. So is there value in, quote unquote, slowing the game down when you guys have the ball offensively to sort of counteract what Ole Miss likes to do with their offense?
No, I don't think so. I think we're built a lot like we were last year. We're developing the continuity within the offensive line, but we've got weapons on the outside. The running backs are same. I think the 2 tight end situation that we have is, obviously equal in some respects to last year. So I think we're very similar to last year in that sense. We just can't turn the ball over, and we can't have the 3 and outs that we've had. We've got to maintain possession of the football, and I think defensively, I think they know what to expect. It's going to be up-tempo. We're going to have to defend against big plays, and we're going to have to get off the field on third down.
Blake and Corey get a lot of love, obviously, but what about the job Jake has done with that safeties room, and what are your expectations for that group in this game, which could be huge?
Yeah, I mean, Jake has done a great job since he's been here. I mean, again, we're getting more experienced and veteran players on the field, and from a coaching standpoint, let's not overrate this. We've got better players, and those kids played hard for us last year, but these are really good players. And so Blake's a better defensive coordinator. You know, Kevin Peoples is a better edge coach. We're all better. I'm a better coach because we haven't lost the game. You know, all of these things have to do with your players ultimately are playing the game. And we're gonna have a process for them, and we're gonna coach them and teach them. We're tackling so much better, and obviously that's something that we work on. So I don't want to say it's all the players and the coaches have nothing to do with it, but you start there, and then you have an expectation to put those kids in a good position.
A lot has kind of already been reported, and you've talked a lot about sort of the effort that went into getting a lot of these defensive players over the past year. But I guess maybe at what point did y'all know that you'd be able to kind of sign these kind of defensive players that you did? And I don't know, is there anything else that kind of went into it that you maybe haven't talked about before?
Well, I mean, you need resources, and our fan base rallied. We had really good support that allowed us to be competitive in what is now an NIL marketplace, if you will. So you need the resources to be able to go out to do that. We built a front office that identified the right talent and was effective in doing so. Then we closed the deal with the ability to have the resources necessary to attract that caliber player. So, you know, it's a number of things. It's having, you know, a fan base, a donor base. It's having a front office. It's and then creating an environment, you know, here at LSU and using the brand of LSU and what it can do. I think all of those things, Wilson, came together as one to get to where we are with this roster.
Coach, with Gabe Relaford out, how do you guys sort of piece together that fourth edge rusher spot, sort of rotate in? Is it going to be a bunch of different guys? Is there a guy that you kind of want to tab for that spot? I'm just sort of curious how you guys approach that now.
Yeah, we talked about Dylan. Dylan played quite a bit. We're excited about Dylan. We'll take a look at, you know, CJ and Collage. They're both ready to play for us as well. You know, we'll take a look at Damian Shanklin. We think we have some really good options for that fourth position. We'll miss Gabe this week, certainly, until we decide what his fate is moving forward relative to the shoulder. But we feel really good that we're going to be able to find that fourth guy through all the guys that I just mentioned.
Would you mind just elaborating a bit on Carius Kern, what you noticed when he showed up in the spring to fall camp, then really getting his first extended action on Saturday?
He's an exceptional physical specimen, but we have to be able to turn that into a technically sound offensive lineman, and he's made really good progress. I think we all know that I'm willing to play freshman at that position. We did it in 2022. It's just really difficult, you know, when you're asking somebody to go in and play a position at this level for the first time. There's going to be a learning curve. I like what he's doing. I like the maturity that he's showing and the consistency. And I still think you're going to see him playing in some capacity, and he's got to be prepared to do so.
Any adjustments or challenges with the 230 kick?
No, but it is our first 230 kick in quite some time. I don't know when the last time we played. I can't remember. See, there you go. All right, that's good for me. I didn't remember something. Nothing major. You know, I think that it's not an easy trip, and I told our team that last week, actually. We were talking about the schedule moving forward. You know, you get to Tupelo, and then you're still an hour bus ride, you know, so you got to handle it. You got to mentally lock in and handle that you've got a road trip, and don't be distracted by it. It is what it is. And get your mind right about that. And be prepared. But I don't think the 2:30 start is really something that's out of our comfort zone. We practice every time right around that 2:30 time. No, I don't think we're going to do that this year. Yeah, that's a one-time deal.
Just looking at Garrett after the game, I mean, he's 100%. He's making all the throws he's always been able to make, scrambling, all that. You feel?
Well, you saw him play versus the other teams, and you saw him that night, and I think you could see a difference in what he was doing. He was much more confident throwing the football. I think, he saw opportunities to run. He took it. I thought his escape out of the pocket where he threw the touchdown pass was outstanding. Those are the things that we're looking for from him. And quite frankly, giving him the opportunity to push the ball down the field. He's highly accurate in throwing the ball down the field. So, there's a couple things we can clean up, with him. And I think that's good that there's a couple and he can continue to play better. But it's good to see him back to where he had been prior to the year. And I know he's feeling really comfortable right now.
Coach, for DJ Pickett, he's allowed just 3 receptions all season. What did he sort of need to learn to take that next step and really earn that, increased playing time as the season has sort of gone along?
Yeah, I don't have the rep breakdown, but it was pretty close on Saturday. They were somewhere in that 34, 36 range, and all of them were pretty close. I think you've got, right now we're rolling in with 3, and those 3 guys are pretty talented. And so I think you'll see that continue in terms of his reps and just more game experience, a couple of times where he was in a position he's got to wrap up and make a tackle, but he's an outstanding player. I mean, we're nitpicking. I mean, here's a true freshman coming in, and he can play at the highest level. Great. Thank you.
Coach Brian Kelly with this week's Brian Kelly press conference as LSU gets ready to get back to SEC play, traveling to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Again, 2:30 kick time from Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. We'll take a final timeout. We come back, we'll wrap it up on the Brian Kelly press conference.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
Today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
LSU Tiger fans are gearing up with real Tigers apparel and merchandise from the official online store at lsushop.net. Get jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, official team merchandise from Nike, accessories, and much more. Over 3,600 products, all shipped right to your door. Head to the place real Tiger fans go for the selection only real Tiger fans get at lsushop.net.
That's a wrap on this week's Brian Kelly press conference, presented by the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. For last-minute news and notes, once again, here is Chris Blair.
Coming up on on Thursday. Once again, it will be the Brian Kelly Show live from TJ Ribs. All get started at 7 o'clock. After the Tigers pretty much get their week of practice together, we'll have Coach to give us the very latest on the Tigers as they get set to head to Oxford, Mississippi. Tigers will take on Ole Miss again with a 2:30 kickoff. We'll have coverage beginning on Saturday at 12:30. Started up with LSU Game Day, presented by the original Louisiana Hot Sauce. It'll be Marlon Favorite, Brandon Taylor, Hunt Palmer, and then handed off to Gordy Rush, Jacob Hester, and myself from Vaught Hemingway Stadium again with kickoff at 2:30. So that'll wrap things up for us again this week. Glad you could join us. Thanks to Gordy Rush. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. In fact, no press conference this coming Monday, so we'll be back in 2 weeks right here on the Brian Kelly Press Conference.
This has been the Brian Kelly Press Conference, presented by the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. For the very latest on LSU Fighting Tiger football, follow the Tigers on social at LSU Football and at LSUsports.net.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And welcome you back here at Big Mike's on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. Got some time left here in lunch. A really nice crowd out here at Big Mike's. Don't forget on Mondays, it's all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp, starting at 5 o'clock all the way until close every Monday night. Wednesday nights, line dancing at 6:30. Dollar wings on Wednesday nights. Watch parties for all the LSU games here with a DJ. It's a high-energy group. Happy hour drink prices all day on Sunday to watch the NFL starting at 11 o'clock. That's $2.50 beer, domestic bottles and drafts, $4 wells, $4 wines, and those are good happy hour drink prices from 3 until 7 every Monday through Friday. And on Fridays, they're open late for high school football. Come in after the games, family friendly. Get you something to eat before you head home. Here at Big Mike's on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. Brian Kelly, pretty upbeat for going into the game against Ole Miss. I guess the injury situation is probably what we need to talk about first. The news about Gabe Relaford, not great. He had certainly done a really nice job to this point. They don't know if he's going to need surgery or not, so we'll keep an eye on that. It is one of the positions that LSU is deepest at, so that's the one. The one positive there, it's a position where they do have good depth, but they're going to hold him out this week and see if surgery is going to be necessary. The suspension of DJ Chester leaves him in a little bit of a precarious position at center should something happen to Braylon Moore. Braden Augustus, who is from right here in the Dunham School, filled in with the second group last week when the second unit came in the second half. If you want to go back to go back to camp and who else took reps at that position, Cohen Eccles took some reps at that position back in August if they were to get in a bind. Not exactly the best situation because Moore had the injury just a couple of weeks ago. So keep an eye on that. He suggested it would be Braden Augustus, but keep in mind that they also have Cohen Eccles, who has taken some reps at that position. Chester also saw a little bit of time at tackle. They're talking about Carius Kern working in there. I'm anxious to see some more Kern. Saw him in the second half of the game last week. Haven't had a chance. We're going to do film study tonight, but the one play I did notice was he had a holding penalty. So we'll see what his development looks like. He's a player I'm awfully high on. I think he's going to have a really good career here. But, when you offensive lineman, there's a learning curve. Caden Durham, they don't think it's a high ankle sprain, so that's good news. I thought Jawan Johnson ran the ball really well the other night. So that's your injury situation. He talked briefly about the scheduling. I think you'll probably get a little bit more of that when the schedule officially comes out tomorrow. But if you are joining us late, it's Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M for LSU's annual opponents. They get 6 more besides that, so it's going to be plenty of competitive scheduling. So it's kind of a little synopsis of what we heard from Brian Kelly and, of course, Ole Miss.
I thought the most interesting thing that Kelly had to say was, expecting to play 2 quarterbacks. I know he's got to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, but I hope they play 2 quarterbacks.
I hope they just play one, but it's the other one.
Yeah, yeah, or play Simmons the whole time.
Right.
You know, and I mean, it's just. I do agree with him that they can run the same stuff with them.
Yeah.
But they have different. He's not going to go in all that, but they have different abilities on that stuff. But both, you can run an offense that you run with a dual threat. They're going to run the ball some, and they're going to throw the ball, a little bit more. But both of them, and that's what he's done with all of his quarterbacks. Jackson Dart ran the ball a lot. He's going to get his 10 carries a game. And Matt Corral, he ran the ball, 10 times a game. And so they do that, but clearly, it's the Chambliss is just the way better in the passing game. Way better in the passing game. I think they're really close, and that threat to run, a little bit different. Simmons got a little bit more power, maybe to finish his runs, but Chambliss is quick. And I would say right now, man, Simmons came in an Arkansas game and re-aggravated that ankle. So I don't know if he's 100% even to come in and play. So because, I mean, he had to come out at that point. So that's the part. It was like just that these are the same type of quarterbacks and things like that. No, they have different levels of ability in certain aspects, but they do run the same offense. That is correct.
So the most intriguing part of this game to me is, will LSU be able to run the football on what statistically has been, by a big margin, the worst rushing defense in the SEC through 4 games? Ole Miss has given up 190 yards a game on the ground. That's 30-plus yards north of 15th in the league.
Is their schedule comparable to everybody else's through 4 games? Because these stats can be really misleading with such a short sample size based on the rent wins and things like that.
Well, you've played.
Is Mississippi State going to defend and run better against Alcorn State?
Right. No, I get it. You played 2 SEC games in Tulane and Georgia State. So I mean,
that's tougher than most have played.
Yeah, that's
so that's going to be so maybe temper that a little bit.
So if they're giving away that many yards, is LSU going to be able to run the football on them? Take, for instance, Florida, who's got a very good defense, which we saw again the other night against Miami, kept them in the game when their offense wasn't doing anything. LSU ran for 96 yards against Florida, but and 3-point, I think it was 3.9 a carry against Florida, but 55, 56 of that was the last 55, 56 of that was on one play at the end of the game. So if LSU can run the football here, if they can't run the football on Ole Miss, it's going to be tough sledding the rest of the way, I think. So that'll be something I'm keeping an eye on.
You didn't you catch your attention too? Nussmeier wants to throw the ball downfield. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
That didn't stick out to you today? I mean, they definitely threw the ball downfield more.
They did.
Okay, so I mean, they want to use this as a tune-up.
No, I never doubted their want. There's a Les Miles word. I never doubted their want as a coaching staff and as a quarterback to throw the ball down the field. My concern was, did Nussmeier have the health to do it? And I saw the other night that he does. So I am expecting them to push the ball down the field, starting with that.
I think they'll be balanced, Charlie. I mean, it's just moving the ball, period, scoring. I mean, Ole Miss is. They had their year last year where they could compete with anybody up front, and that's gone. And so they are back to where they're gonna score and they're gonna give up chunk plays. Part was their defense, give them credit, but part was Tulane led an egg, and not so much. Tulane's not great on defense. They're gonna give up yards. They give up yards and points to Duke, give up yards and points to South Alabama. But their offense, and Retzlaff, by anybody's account, had his worst day that he's ever had, and probably since Pee Wee. I mean, 0 in the first half. And then he finished with like 47 against Ole Miss. That's that's garbage time too.
Yeah, you were out of the game.
Yeah, I mean so it's strength against strength and weakness or concern. Or it's gonna be fun. It's that Chambliss is we put some pressure on you because if you the great and I think was it Cobble that asked that what makes Kiffin a play designer and he went into one thing is he runs a lot of these routes. His sequencing is really good, so he's running certain things to boom, he'll run the ball, he'll run it. When the game is done, they will be balanced because he understands that to get those safeties to bite up on play action to create Kiffin, the consistency, he's always able to get guys streaking downfields vertically that seem to have like 2-3 steps on people. Well, are they going up like they're going to block because he's showing, run and they release, but also the sequence and how he sets up the plays. But the other thing is running all these combination routes to try and create confusion. And that's where I want to see this defense is really, really good. And I love Kelly, how he talks about, we're all better coaches. We've got better players.
Yeah.
And we talked about that forever. This is his best roster, and he just confirms that again. But they hadn't been tested against this, obviously, the Florida passing game. You know what I mean? I mean, Clemson. I mean, this is done over time, and now he's got a guy that's going to make you pay. He's not going to overthrow a guy that's streaking in the open because he's putting the ball on the line too far. He's going to make sure he puts air under the ball on the vertical throws and also the crossers, hit guys. If you make a mistake, and this defense plays so fast, they don't think. They're just coming and coming and coming. You got to be disciplined, too, with them. And so how many – they look like blown coverages, but it happens regularly when teams try to defend Kiffin.
Probably the biggest upgrade anywhere on this team from last year to this year is its safety. And not only did they bring in 2 transfers, but Deshaun Spears, a Denham Springs native, has played very well back there also. And this is the group that is going to have that pressure on them. Don't have those plays. We've all seen it when you get the wide angle where the quarterback goes back and hits his back foot, and Kiffin puts his hands in the air because he knows he's got him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got him reeled in, and before the quarterback even throws it, he knows he's got a long touchdown. The pressure will be on Cooley and Halsey and Spears back there to make sure that doesn't happen.
The scouting report from the August camp has translated to the regular season, and those safeties are good, and we have seen them, and just in the Florida game on the and also the Clemson game, but they almost bait the quarterback. They're in real good position. They understand that they're going to get pressure, so they can kind of jump on those early ones early. I mean, kind of the initial move, but all of those interceptions against Florida, they all broke on the ball, showed hands, and they were just instinctful type of plays. This is a different animal. So it's that's a really good unit. They haven't been tested at this level yet. Ole Miss is a really good offensive unit, play design, a really good quarterback in Chambliss right now that hasn't seen a defense like this. So this could be fun.
No, they definitely haven't seen a defense this good.
No.
I don't. Arkansas, we know, is challenged defensively. Kentucky, maybe a little bit better, but not to this level for sure. We're here at Big Mike's in Denham Springs. We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. Well, LSU's on the road this weekend, and then they've got a bye week. But in the month of October, multiple home games in the SEC. You go out for tailgate, and the weather will be good enough for you then, Jimmy. It'll be cooled off.
There you go.
Pick up your supplies at the Thibodeau Store and at the Pierre Port Store. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre Port. TheThibodeauStore.com is the online where you can arrange for delivery for some items and also same-day pickup for some.
I was rolling through on the way to Queen on Saturday morning and seeing everybody, and I was just kind of checking out everybody's gear, what they had, and they got their own rigs that they make and stuff like that for their burners and their pots and stuff like that. And if you have your own stuff and something breaks on it, we got all of the material to fix it and repair it and stuff like that. But also the cool weather is just around the corner, and you're dying to get outside, do the outdoor cooking, whether it's on campus, whether it's you're traveling to Oxford, whether you just in your backyard or you're in your outdoor kitchen. So they have everything imaginable and then some. at the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store for all of your on-site cooking.
Online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. We'll take our final break, come back here at Big Mike's on Aspen Square in Denham Springs, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Promo?
Okay, so he's not coaching this season. Okay. All right, you want to do the promo?
No.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, Jordan.
Okay. Eyes rolling.
This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch from Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson, Andy Isco, and Greg Bowser join the show. And we do first class, second class, no class. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Tuesday from Mike Anderson's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
You've heard me talk about Workbox services and how they can handle all of your movable storage needs for both commercial and residential. With our shipping containers of all sizes, customized in any way that you need or desire. Now Martin Padial has expanded his coverage outside the Baton Rouge area. Workbox can now service the Gulf Coast and New Orleans areas all the way to Lake Charles. Our staff at Workbox continues to grow with Hannah, Martin Jr., Brandy, and Chris. Do like I did when I needed a movable storage unit. Call Workbox at 343-4886 or workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. We're now bowling crabs at Sammy's every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday starting at 5 p.m. and on Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. 1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, here in the heart of football season, it would take quite a basketball story to get us into that realm, but this is pretty big. Bruce Pearl going to announce his retirement, according to multiple reports, effective immediately. He is contemplating a run for Senate in the state of Alabama in 2026. You need the full year to campaign for that. That is Tommy Tuberville's seat. And Tuberville is contemplating a run for governor in Alabama. If Bruce Pearl can be senator and Tommy Tuberville can be governor, then Saban could have been president, right? I mean, if we're gonna do the whole thing here. Pearl, who's had a great run at multiple schools, including Auburn, 65 years old, finishes up with over 700 wins, won 73% of his games, 58% of his conference games, made a couple of Final Fours at Auburn, and of course came just an eyelash away from winning the whole thing. Been at Auburn since 2015. He is expected to be succeeded by his son Stephen, 38 years old, on staff there at Auburn. So, Jimmy, I ask you here, and just your opinion. We don't know what's in Bruce Pearl's head. Sick of the current landscape of college sports, or really anxious to get into politics? He was fairly vocal about, this is not what I wanted.
How old is he?
65.
I mean, I think that he's also benefited some from the new game. Where Janai Broom, and some others, Pettiford, and just he's had a nice balance between recruits and also transfer portals and getting guys. So, I mean that might have been his best team this past year. And Charlie, I mean that was
record-wise it was
okay, and that's this era of roster building. So he gets it. He's good at it.
He did it. Did he like it though? Like what I heard from him was, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm playing the game. I know what I got to do my job, but I'm not wild about this. I'm not wild. Some of the younger coaches kind of embrace it. I mean, no, not everybody, but some of them do.
I know he fits the profile, but he also was good at it, and good enough at it where he was having his best years, his best teams. In this new way of doing it. So, I don't. Mike Gundy is completely fed up. He's given up. Mike Gundy's given up,
and he will be done at the end of the season.
Yeah.
If not,
if that.
Yeah. I think they will give him the rest of the season as because of his time there, as a matter of respect.
And he's done a great job.
They'll let him
for
finish.
Such a long period, but he's given up.
Yeah.
I didn't see give up in Pearl.
No,
okay,
not at all.
So he might not like it. It might. I'm sure that's part of it, Charlie. But he was good at it, and they were willing to give him. There's not a coach out there in any sport in college that doesn't have as much. They never have too much money. Too much budget.
No,
okay?
but that's why I asked you about the political thing, and we don't talk politics on the show, but I'm asking for a reason. Auburn people, is it like he's having success with this?
They're bummed. That's all I know.
I know that.
He's given them. He has given Auburn everything he has.
Yeah.
He ain't sitting around. He is working. He is hustling.
So he could stay there and do that. So does he have this burning desire to, I want to run for office?
And how much? He's 65, and he's everything counts, but. This is no complete shock. He's been hitting at this, so he wants to take on another challenge in a new venue and get a change of pace at this stage before it's too late.
Yeah.
So he wants to get in his. But it's a damn shame. Now he lied about the damn picnic, whatever. What would his career have been if it didn't get detoured with the Tennessee shenanigans? I mean, man.
He won 68% of his games in the league
at
Tennessee.
I love his coaching style. I love this game. Well, let's go get it done. He's a promoter. And his teams played hard. And what I like about them, they could go into a visiting venue and play their game. And a lot of times, some coaches, their teams, it's college basketball, they really struggle. They seem to handle it a little bit better, and I think that's a reflection of his coach.
His 6 years at Tennessee, 3 years where they made it to the second weekend of the tournament, 2 Sweet 16s and an Elite 8. And then, of course, what he's done at Auburn, which includes 2 Final Fours. And, look, that COVID year team, They could have won it. They weren't going to be favored to win it, but they had a really good team that year.
I just
they finished second in the league. They were. You would ask me that. I want to say.
What was the record in the league?
They were 12-6 in the league, but they were 25-6 overall. They had swept everybody else in the non-conference, and they were pretty salty. They would have had a chance that year. They finished second to Kentucky that year, so they were good. They would have had a chance to make a run.
They peaked a little early last year.
Yeah, and they still made the final. And they still made the final.
Still made the Final Four. All number ones did.
He was very visible at Tennessee. When he got to Tennessee, men's basketball had gone through a downturn, and he embraced everything about the culture at Tennessee. The visual of him and Pat Summitt, there stays in my head like, hey, you know what? I know who the big dog is on this campus. Pat Summitt's the legend. You know what? I'm going to go and work with her, and she's going to come out to the – Pat Summitt's out at the Tennessee basketball games wearing a cheerleader uniform because to support him. So he is into it. If any coaches that coach basketball in the area are listening, he's into it. He's working it. At Auburn, you saw him at everything, okay? He was very visible. He was working it. Auburn is not a traditional basketball power.
No. Auburn was LSU now when he took over.
Yeah.
For years. For years, and it took him. It wasn't done overnight.
Yeah,
no, I mean he's, and who's more with his energy and his charisma? Who's more cut out to, kind of go out and do this? So it's kind of a it hurts for college basketball because his kid's not going to be him. I'm sorry.
Oh, it would be unfair to ask him. Yeah, it would be unfair to ask him to.
And I wonder if they're going to still maintain that level of support that they have. I mean, all depends on winning. But
and you're not guaranteed this grace period where I got all my guys coming back from last year. The basketball rosters, all of the rosters, but especially the basketball rosters, they turn over year to year. So he doesn't have the benefit, I don't think. I don't know who's there, how many they got coming back from last year, but
one.
Okay, so you're on your own, kid. You gotta You gotta go do this yourself. Thanks to the folks here at Big Mike's for being our host today. Again, congratulations to Big Mike for his contributions here in the Denham Springs area. Going into the Hall of Fame for his contributions to Denham Springs High School and high school athletics in general here in the area. Always been a very, very generous man with his time and his money here in the community. All you can eat ball shrimp every Monday night, live dancing on Wednesdays, dollar wings on Wednesdays, watch parties for LSU, and happy hour 3 to 7 Monday through Friday and all day on Sunday. Thanks to everybody for participating. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now...
Have a good one.
Thank you.